dream to find there's someplace better, and I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Are you overrun with rubbish and need a skip bin? For easy disposal from your garden cleanup, renovation or spring clean? When you think skip bins, think NTRS. NTRS, your friendly, reliable and local waste disposal company.
Hello and a big welcome to TIO Stadium in Darwin. Round 13 in the NTFL competition. The match in front of us. Second place Nightcliff up against St Mary's, who are in 7th position. A lot of work for the Saints to do to make finals footy this year. They've got a real challenge in front of them tonight. Should be a terrific match. Hope you can stay with us. Joining us in commentary, Tash Medbury is with us. Tash, good to have you on board.
Thanks, Charlie.
And Ash Manakaris as well. Ash, nice to have you.
G'day, Charlie. How are you?
Give us some thoughts on this game. We'll go to you, Ash, first.
Well, you'd have to think that Nightcliff's depth across the field is probably a little bit too much. They've been an informed side throughout the season so far here in 2018, 2019. They've started well already. Saints last week, which was the televised game, really put in a bit of an effort, couldn't score in front of goals. That really hasn't changed. They've lost Delahunty this week and they've lost Anthony Wilson. There are just too many performers for my mind. Starting at the top with Michael Hagan, you've got Matty Bricknell who can kick goals, Kane Riley up the back for Nightcliff, Liam Holtz-Fitz, then you've got Cam Eilert, Phil Wills. The list just goes on and on. Now that doesn't mean that St Mary's don't have their own class and quality within the lineup, but at the moment on form they haven't got it. But they've seen there's got a couple of good ins for them this week. Young Braxton Ahmad I'm a bit of a fan of, and also young Morris Rioli Jr. is back in. And of course they will hopefully complement some of the regulars like Ryan Smith, Raf Clark, Shawnee Edwards, who had a big game for them last week, and of course the other player that they'll be relying on calling on will be someone like Ben Rioli.
Ben Rioli, so 4 Riolis out there, Shannon and Ben brothers, their cousin Morris Rioli out there and their nephew Braden out there.
No, Shannon's out. He's a late withdrawal.
Oh, Shannon's a late withdrawal. Who's come in?
I'm not quite sure, but he's definitely not on the team sheet.
All right, wait till we can see. They hold it aloft. Game about to get underway here. It's a really important match for Saints, but Nightcliff as well. Here's Tash Medbury to get us underway.
So Ahmad Drugamuller in the ruck. Comes down to Butcher for Nightcliff. Well taken there by Matthias Liddy for St Mary's, who started on the ball. I think that's a good move as well by the coach. Into Shawnee Edwards, can't take the mark, picked up by Raphael Clark, can't get the handball away. Nathan Brown's there for the Tigers, trying to kick it out of defence here. And the Tigers players, no communication. Ben Rioli picks it up, runs into the 50. He's had a ping, no, I think he's put it to the advantage of Ryan Smith. It falls down, there's no crumbers there. Shawnee Edwards is late to get there for St Mary's. Attacking footy here for Saints. And the ball goes out of bounds deep in the forward pocket. That was a good start to St Mary's.
Very good start from St Mary's. Also an indication you got Raf Clark, who played up back as a defender up forward. You've got Shawnee Edwards. You've got Ryan Smith in there and Ben Rioli. All of those players will contest up forward to lock it in.
Deep down in the forward line here for St Mary's. Early thrust down forward for them. Working hard back there was Nathan Brown. Ball out towards the boundary line. Saints with a chance for possession. Couldn't get it clear. Handball up in the middle. Goes to no one in particular. They get around the footy. Umpire letting the play go on. Little kick off the ground and then another kick off the ground. They tried to do it. Nightcliff couldn't do it. Good work along the boundary line. Rioli with a little kick found a teammate up there across the wing.
So Paredes takes the mark. He's about 60 out from goal here, just directing his forward line. He needs to pop it to Raphael Clark, who was on his own. He goes to a 2-on-1 to Shawnee Edwards at the back. It was a good fist there by the Nightcliff defenders, and the ball goes out of bounds exactly in the same spot that there was a ball in last time.
I thought Paredes was a bit slow to move that on, because he also had Matthias Liddy, who's drifted down at about 45 on his own. He could have popped one straight across, but took too long.
Throw in here deep down in the forward line where it was just a minute ago, and Smith with the tap away. And an outstanding game last week, the big ruckman. Clark with the handball, gave it off to Ben Rioli, dropped it on the left boot, smothering kick, landed in the hands there of Philo. Won the medal, didn't he, back in 2015-16. Outstanding player he is, Brodie Philo. Ball out of play up towards the 50-metre line.
The Nightcliff back six have been their stable backbone, and so far they're under a bit of pressure here, Tash.
They are. Ball, and Raphael Clark's gone into ruck against Drugamuller. Both ruckmen miss it. Kicked in midair by Paredes, and the mark's taken by Mr. Reliable in Nathan Brown, the captain of the Tigers. Brown's a very good player. Passes it to Eilert. Eilert switches play to Ferreira. Ferreira just a chip over the top to Drugamuller. Started well in the ruck. Plays on. Kicks it up to centre wing, looking for Melville, I think that is. Can't take the mark there. Was the Nightcliff player in Deary, sorry, Simon Deary. So another boundary throw in directly on centre wing, grandstand side here.
Well, we see there some of the crowd that have come and watched this game.
Here's the throw in, directly down in front of us. Morris Rioli stand here at TIO Stadium in Darwin. Saints trying desperately to get the ball clear. Can't tackle, laid on there by Quinn, who got there a little late with. He's been okay too, Quinn. We've had a look at him this year. Ball held up there, whistle goes. Umpire says he's going to ball it up. There's a look at it, no free kick in it.
Well, yeah, just watch the niggle here between Cameron Islet and Paredes.
There was, you gave him one to think about there.
So the umpire throws it up, ball knocked down again. Oh, high tackle over the top there on Yaron, draws the free kick out on the wing. Nicholas Yaron, busy player. Gee, they toss him around a bit, don't they? Such a slightly built player. They get hold of him, these big, strong players, and they throw him to the ground. Ball along the boundary line. Could have gone out of bounds on the full. Have a look at it. No mark taken there. And Nightcliff with the kick back to Islet.
So quickly plays on here. Islet looks for Hagan. Kicked 4 goals last week, Michael Hagan. Famous Buffalo name. Moved over to the Tigers, delivers to Wills, not a good kick, tries to shove it back to Hagan, running past Islet, puts his body on the line, he goes without it. Young Quinn's in there for St Mary's. Well done, Raphael Clark, gets it out to Paredes, smart play. Shawnee Wilson just misses the bounce, unfortunately, there. Ben Taylor's there as well. Shawnee Wilson goes back. Taylor's got the ball. Signed up for Thunder this week, Ben Taylor. Good player as well. But Nightcliff are going to clear the ball out of defence here.
5 minutes in, and Nightcliff haven't been down on their forward line. It's been all Saints. Here's a chance for them, though. They can run it up off the boot of Butcher. Along the boundary line he goes. Good kick. And they can work this forward. What's on offer up towards that half-forward line. Ball goes towards the boundary line. It was a good-looking kick.
Philo. That was Philo that kicked that ball.
Terrific mark along the boundary line. So chance here for the Tigers to go deep. Melville's been pretty good. 41 goals this year. The leading goal kicker in Nightcliff. Ball punched towards the boundary line.
Free kick, Charlie.
That was punched away from Drogamuller. Drogamuller's getting the free kick. He is. He's going to go short with it. Chips it back in. Well, it was a hospital pass in the end. Umpire's called a push in the back. And the free kick going to go here to Deary. So Deary it is. Took that mark down in front of us a short time ago, Ash.
Yeah, and he's been interfered with there in the marking contest. Tyler Saunders just came in and hit him front on, knocked him over. So marking infringement there. Unfortunately for the Saints side, so realistically Nightcliff is going to have the first shot at goal when you think all the pressure has been put on by Saints. There's some very good matchups around the ground, Charlie. Shawnee Edwards and Nathan Brown in the St Mary's forward line, and then you've got Drogamuller up there and Trent Melville with some of the boys lining up, and Tyler Saunders on young Butcher.
Simon Deary from almost directly out in front, kicks the goal. One entrance into the 50 by Nightcliff, and they get the goal.
Yeah, well, it was a good build-up then there. They finally found some space on that scoreboard side here at Marara and then worked it all the way up. Perhaps a couple of unfortunate free kicks infringements against St Mary's. Second one was certainly there. Didn't have a good look at the first one, but the second one was most certainly there, and Nightcliff capitalised on it.
Now, for those who weren't here, big win for Tiwi Bombers over Wanderers. I didn't get the final score in the end, but if we can get hold of it, we'll certainly share it with you. But they had a big last quarter, ran right away with it.
Yeah, I reckon they won by about, I think it was 16 goals.
They certainly kicked more than 22 goals.
So back in the middle, Smith, easy tap down to Ben Rioli. Can't break the tackle. That's a good tackle there, holding the ball. The Tigers play on here. Michael Hagan has it. Hand passes over the top to a teammate, and Liam Holtz fits. And he's decked after he kicks the ball. So undisciplined play here by St Mary's, and the free kick is going to go to the Nightcliff forward in Trent Melville. Kicked 41 goals this season, the leading goal kicker for the competition, and this is an absolute sitter for him.
Well, it was just late and it was high, and I would suggest that on review they'll look at it as unnecessary.
Okay.
Melville will come in, kick from about 10 metres out, 15 metres out, put it straight through.
So a good goal there to Trent Melville. Takes his tally to 42 for the season.
He'd be eyeing off 50 or more, wouldn't he? He's still got plenty of time left.
The Dunn medal, I think it is, for the leading goal kicker of the competition. If we just watched there, we didn't actually see the free kick. But undisciplined play, so that's probably the two goals have actually come out of free kicks. So.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate because St Mary's are working extremely hard in that midfield to try and trap that ball in, Charlie. And you know, one you can say was definitely undisciplined. The other one was just a marking infringement.
Tash mentioned the Dunn medal, named after the great Dennis Dunn. Saints wish they had him out there right now. Ben Rioli emerges from the centre. Powerful kick up there, searching for, Clark along the boundary line. Raph Clark with a handball over the top. Got it to Morris Rioli, went backwards with it, back to Clark. Didn't get it to him, ball forced out of play. Good pressure put on there. Nowhere for Kane Riley to go except backwards over the boundary line at the 50. Crowd looking on here. There's the president there of the Nightcliff Footy Club looking on. He's
And for our audience as well, number 33 for St Mary's, of course, Maurice Rioli Jr., the famous name, and hopefully is running around for Richmond in the next couple of years. So over the back, Tyler Saunders kicks it in. Man in front, good work there from behind by the St Mary's player, going without it. There is Ferreira, and it just bounces through the behind. So Nathan Brown, the first score for St Mary's. Nightcliff are leading here 12-1.
Well, they had a bit of the goal-kicking yips last week, Natasha, and let's hope that they can not have them this week.
Look at that pass.
Kick out there to set it up nicely, didn't he? But made it just a little bit difficult, landed at the bootlaces. So Tigers come from defence now up towards the centre of the ground. Getting in the way, there's Paredes. He's a good player. He's had a few touches already. Spears it into 50. Vision is okay. Just didn't get it to the boundary line, and Nathan Brown got there to carry it out of play. And there'll be a boundary line throw in about 40 metres around from the goal line.
Don't think anyone wants those turnovers in the mid-zone like that. Saints can punish you, and Paredes certainly sent it straight back where it came from.
They haven't been able to capitalise from this area in the last 3 boundary throw-ins that have been deep in the forward pocket here for St Mary's. Raphael Clark wins the tap down. Number of players around this ball, too easy. Philip Wills comes out, but it was smothered. Well done. Paredes again dancing around one, gives the ball off to a teammate, gets it on the left and just goes out of bounds on the full. So we talked about those yips from last week. It's not looking good to start this game.
5-15 they kicked last week. Saints. Don't do that tonight. Here's the kick inside. Kane Riley gets it inside 50, takes a bounce, has a look upfield, can kick long, gets it over the top of the wall. It's a good-looking kick. Ball knocked to ground there. Yaron got there to pick up the crumbs, but there was an interference in the marking contest, and so the free kick there to Deary. Straightens it up across centre half forward along the 50-metre line and put it in the hands there of Butcher. Butcher deep to the forward pocket, has a player loose down there. Who else? Cam Islet. How could you leave Cam Islet by himself down in the forward line? Takes the mark alongside the boundary line. Star footballer, this man.
One of the subtle differences then is the pace of which Nightcliff moved that ball on straight away. Once the free kick had been awarded for the marking infringement, they just moved the ball on very quickly. Saints will need to do that, and they'll have to move it much quicker than they have so far in the first 10 minutes of this game.
So Cam Islet here. Distance not a problem for him. Accuracy a little tough. About 5 metres in from the boundary line, he kicks for goal.
Not
he kicks nicely, he doesn't miss. He's a super player. Cam Islet gets his first, and the Tigers get their third.
Well, great build-up then. Full credit to the Nightcliff side. They're prepared to move it out, and good work on their back 6 as well. Kane Riley managed to find himself some space as we watch Butcher just swivel, turn, right foot. Judged beautifully by Islet.
I'm hoping that Brett Renouf, the coach of St Mary's, and looks like he's going to do it, has put Sean Edwards on the ball. I think they have made that swap now. Matthias Liddy, good start. Started in the midfield, got his hands on the ball, which was good, but Shawnee Edwards definitely the move in there now. Yeah,
well, look, it is a good move for him to go into there, but I've got to say to you, I would have thought, look, I would have left Matthias in there for a bit longer yet, you know.
The ball comes down. Tigers with the kick out through Philo. And it lands in the arms of the Frawley, I think it is there for St Mary's. Runs out, looks out wide here for Ryan Smith. Wins front position, well done to the experienced ruckman. So Smith, not much to kick to. Raphael Clark is calling it.
Getting the ball on.
Yeah, just calling it, but not running to space, are they? That's a good kick in the end to the advantage of Raphael Clark. He can handball this. No, he takes it himself. Kicks it out in front of Ben Rioli, who takes the mark. About 45 metres out, directly in front. Loves kicking a goal, Ben Rioli. Can go back and nail this one and needs to. He's got the breeze behind him. It's favouring that end. So let's see if Ben Rioli can get the first goal on the board for St Mary's. Famous name, of course. Has he snuck it in? I reckon he has. Ben Rioli has kicked the first goal for St Mary's.
Well, they got a good bounce because Smith took it a bit of time to actually get it on, and then Raph Clark managed to get the good bounce. There it is there, and has a look. Good awareness. Great lead from Ben Rioli too.
Saints, that's a bit of the Saints hole there, isn't it?
It is, and I guess in the end, Ryan Smith didn't have much to kick it to, but instead of kicking it to a contest, he actually kicked it to space. Yeah. He kicked it to the space and made the players run there.
Challenged these players to run for it, yeah.
Well, he had absolutely nothing to hit, so he had to do something. So the bounce, the ground is very hard. You can see it's dry, so it's very hard. So you're going to get a unknown bounce, but in that term, it helped out Raph Clark.
He's just really got a new lease of life, I reckon. Ryan Smith seen some good footy over from the last few weeks. Here's the handball coming out wide and running forward. Nightcliff can spear it up towards the 50-metre line, inside the 50-metre line. That's an infringement in the marking contest.
So he got his hands on it. We'll see it in a replay, but he got his hands on it and then got interfered with the second time round.
So a chance here now for Melville to kick his 43rd goal of the year. One in this match already. He's going to be the danger man. Saints supporters looking on there.
Signed on for Thunder as well, Trent Melville.
And Ryan Smith, we mentioned him, retired from Thunder, didn't he, at the end of last year?
Yep.
Been a real good big man for them.
He became a life member last week, Charlie.
So Melville tucked away just at the 50-metre line. He lines it up. It's a good-looking kick. It's going to go all the way. Gee, that's a good kick. That's tough to kick goals from there. And Trent Melville has no trouble, kicks the goal.
And that's his second so far. We've already gone 13.5 minutes here in the first quarter. Nightcliff have opened up their lead to 4 straight goals, 24. They lead St Mary's 1 goal, 1-7. And to be honest with you, they actually haven't looked like missing. As we can see there, it was the second part of that contest that created the infringement, which is why the free kick was paid.
That's you with your umpire hat on. Well,
I got to say,
we would have left it and said that was an infringement.
No, but he got his... Tom Frawley was fine in that first part of the contest, but it's the second part that actually got him in trouble. Good umpiring there from Brodie Morecambe as well. The umpires today, Brodie Morecambe, Benny Ogden and Mark Noonan.
So young Matt is now into the ruck against Struggermuller. Goes in for a second crack, but there's been a free kick here. So it's going to Philip Wills, the midfield here. So the Tigers have had about the last 5 clearances from the midfield. Crashing the pack, there's Nightcliff forward and looking for the hands here. Eilert drops the ball, doesn't see that very often. Taken without the ball was Matthias Clark. Kicked in by Liam Holtz-Fitz, and above the pack was Tyler Saunders there, but couldn't bring it to ground. Kick out, quick kick out, and Cameron Eilert's dropped another one. Geez, you don't see that very often at all. And it's gone over the top and bounced through for a goal. Liam Holtz-Fitz has kicked his first goal, and the Tigers have their 5th. Geez, the floodgates are looking a little bit opening here. St Mary's, they need to bounce back.
Well, it's not pretty football, but effective from Nightcliff's point of view. They just scrambled to keep it moving. Liam Holtz-Fitz there, just over the top. No point contest.
Good blocking work down there, Deary. Read it well, didn't he?
He did, and just provided a bit of a body that where Tom Frawley couldn't really do much about it. But again, the football and the movement forward wasn't pretty. A lot of pressure on the ball carrier, or the person making the play for the football.
2 goals to Trent Melville, singles to Eilert, Holtz-Fitz and Deary. Ball up in the middle. Tap down, no one getting clear with it. Overrunning the footy and leaving it there, though. Gave a chance for the Tigers to get it clear through Kidney. Couldn't do it. Saints half effort to get out of the middle. Didn't get clear there, McMurray, but the kick goes forward. That's a good looking kick, and that man takes the mark down there again and plays on quickly. Spears it forward. Does Liam Holtz-Fitz, searching down there for his teammate in Melville towards the boundary line. Ball stayed back in play. Frawley did some good work back there. Saints get clear with it. Can they find a target? Kick. They do. That's a great kick. Straight into the hands of Paredes, the man that's everywhere. Chips it into the centre, and the mark taken there by Ben Rioli.
Ben Rioli's got runners forward. Murray's there as well. Raphael Clark as well. Nathan Brown's left his man. No, that's not Brown. That's the other Nightcliff defender, but the hand pass over the top to no man's land. Morris Rioli Jr. picks it up. Handballs it to a teammate. It's intercepted here by Wilson. Kicks it into the midfield, and good mark. Late hit there. Lucky not to give away 50, Ben Rioli. So good mark here taken by Dirksen. Kicks it long. Long couldn't get his hands to the ball. Liam Holtz-Fitz dances around one, quickly gets it on the boot, and it should be a mark here taken for Frawley. I think it is. No, the umpire's found a free kick, and it's actually going downfield here.
Yeah, I'd say to you, and I wondered about it at the time, just as Liam Holtz-Fitz kicked, he got hit high. No, I didn't get dumped, but I think he might have got tackled high. So
Deary's got the free kick. Another one directly in front.
We might be able to see a replay of it, but it looked like to me he just kind of got high.
Deary's already got one.
Disappointing down there for Davies. Took that mark, was in the clear from a missed kick in by Holtz-Fitz, but here's a chance for Deary.
And again, could be potentially another goal from a free kick. So Deary goes in. Nightcliff could kick their 6th here. St Mary's only have the 1 goal, and it goes straight through the middle. So Deary has 2. Trent Melville has 2.
I think he's actually...
I think they might have hit the post.
I reckon that's hit the post. It has. It's gone through for... No,
it's a goal.
through. Optical illusion, Charlie.
Yeah, it must have come off the net
We're just going to see the kick, which is a bit of a shame, but it looked to me like Liam Holtz-Fitz might have just been collected high on the kick. Score out now to 36 points, so Nightcliff 6 goals straight, 36 points. They lead St Mary's 1 goal, 1-7. Nearly 18 minutes gone, Charlie.
Well, we mentioned at the top of the show here how important this game was for St Mary's, but they're getting blown off the park here at the moment. And Paredes grabbed high, is going to get a win out of the middle. Geez, been good, hasn't he? Just runs away from Islet. Umpire says, no, you've got to come back.
Behind the mark.
Get right behind the mark. Well, he was behind the mark, Ash.
No, he was sideways to it.
There's that umpiring hat again on again.
It's Paredes. Through the centre circle he goes. Down the corridor with the kick. It's a long kick too, down towards the half-forward line. Bounces loose here. Chance to kick around the body. Got off hands there. They're going towards the goal and through for a minor score. Might have been... who got that kick down there? That was for Saints.
Kinthari.
Gee, he didn't play much of the season, but he's put together a couple of good games from Wadair. And Tigers to bring this ball back in. It's a poor kick inside 50.
So Islet picks it up, just drills it forward. Punch from behind by Deary. The goal kicker has 2. Good link up here by Tigers. Kicks it down past centre wing. Nicky Yaron in front. The mark wasn't paid. I thought he was pushed in the back there. Philip Wills can't get rid of it. Hand pass over the top. And it was a throw, I think. Yes, so... Who's got the free kick here? Ferreira on centre wing here for St Mary's. Not much on. Taylor there runs for him. Gets to the ball, can't mark it. Was hitting the head. Islet puts his hand up, says sorry. Play on by Paredes. Kicks it in. Looking for Liddy. At the back of the pack here, Shawnee Edwards. Can he pick it up? No, he goes without it. Taken without the ball. The umpires found it. Mark Noonan there with the free kick is going to the Nightcliff defender there. So poor play there by Shawnee Edwards. I thought he had the advantage and just held the man without the ball.
And a 50 for not getting the ball back quick enough. Look, I don't...
How long do you have to get the ball back?
Well, I don't know. Maybe something was said out there.
Okay.
But can I just say something, if you don't mind? That passage of football there was really well umpired. So apart from the free kick being picked up, young Benny Ogden allowed the play to flow very quickly to get it on, which was to Saints' advantage anyway. And then Mark Noonan's picked up a free kick. So good passage of play all round there by both teams and the umpires.
So the Tigers have it out on the wing, kick inside 50 at the back, doing some work. Thomas Davies for St Mary's did pretty well in defence. Ball knocked towards the boundary line. 2-on-1 here. Saints with plenty of numbers. Yaron gets there close. Assistance for him with Tyler Saunders rather.
I reckon Hagan was lucky there
to get away with that. I thought that was holding the ball.
Well, he slid over the top of it, took it in, and then went over the boundary line. But that's okay. After this praising them, it happens.
At least you work both ways there. Ben Taylor is smashed by the Tigers forwards there, picked up by Ferreira, trying to get it out to Jack Long. Jack Long just charges the ball, so Philip Wills trying to pick it up. Ferreira does well, gets the ball onto a running player in Quinn. Quinn kicks it upfield, looking for Matthias Liddy. Needs to use his body here, just outbodied in the end. Matthias Liddy, and Butcher has the ball on centre wing.
So Butcher with the locks. Goes with the handball back. They can run forward here now, the Tigers. Players inside 50 and outside 50. Mark taken Dirksen. Got his hands extended, or his arms extended. Kicks it up towards the 50-metre line. It wasn't a real good kick. Bounced. Gave Simon Deary some hard work to do. Deary onto the right boot. Kicks it down towards the kick-off line. Punched away by Jack Long. Good defensive work there. Yaron on the charge. Wins it. Takes a bounce inside 50. Gets to Butcher. Whistles
it's
gone.
It's on back play here. That's why the ball's been stopped. Ben Rioli decked Philo, and then a Nightcliff player has come in and decked Ben
Hagen's
Rioli.
come in there.
Well, you know, Saints ought to just...
It happened right in front of the umpire. Mark Noonan let the first one go.
Oh, he's talking to Michael Hagan.
I think he...
Following him around. I don't know that we'll see how far back that'll go. I didn't... Play has gone on centre wing, though.
So Paredes has taken the mark for St Mary's. A booming kick into the forward line. From behind was Shawnee Edwards. Clark goes without it. Matthias Liddy can pick this up. Dances around 1, dances around 2, gets it on his right, and it goes across the face of goal. Unlucky there. Good play by Matthias Liddy. But St Mary's, they really need to get a goal here. 22 minutes gone now in this first quarter.
So from that incident in the back play, Mark Noonan's got the book out. Don't know who he's reported, but he might just be
Hagan.
Could be Hagan. But he's at least taken some notes, perhaps just to refer to the MRP. This is what happened last week, Charlie. So you're talking about 4 scoring shots to 6. And no goals for St Mary's. 1 goal, I should say.
They're going to have to work much harder, Saints, here, and they just can't afford to get frustrated. They've got to just play footy. Ball kicked towards the wing, bounces. Handball goes across towards the boundary line, and they come in very hard there. Gee, that was a hard run there by Kane Riley. Hit high, put some real pressure there. Was it Quinn?
It was Quinn.
Yeah. He's jumped straight back up, but...
Oh, geez, that's got to be a free kick. Out his ball, his head over the ball and was taken high. But we'll let it go. So boundary throw in here, centre wing. Smith versus Drugamolla. Smith wins the tap down, doesn't go to anyone in particular. Here, Paredes is trying to fight his way through, held without it. The umpire's seen it. He played that one very, very well. He could win nearly an Academy Award for that one. He was held, but he made sure the umpire seen it. So Paredes has had leather poisoning this quarter. Just can't seem to generate too much up forward here, St Mary's. Clark looks for the lead. Shawnee Edwards was third in line. Takes out a Nightcliff player.
Jason Shaw.
Ill-disciplined there again by an experienced player in Shawnee Edwards, and Tigers going to run away with it.
To Wilson with the little kick, and they can run forward here. Here's Butcher, onto the right boot he goes. 6 goals to 1, 3 Tigers in front, close to quarter time. Ball here for Saints to clean up, and they can come away from centre half back out towards the wing. A searching kick, 2-on-1 on there. Plenty of St Mary's players there. They couldn't get the footy though. Saints will not get hold of Bricknell. He got clear, went along the boundary line. Spearing kick was good. Bounced up towards half forward. Back towards the boundary line. Saints with numbers there again. Now they can get clear, and the whistle goes. No, Saints to play on, and they can get a kick up towards their half forward line just over the wing. Too many Nightcliff players back there in defence, and they can clean it up with their skipper, Nathan Brown.
So Brown, the free kick, we've heard the whistle go now, so it's gone downfield. Yep, so Brown, another one was dumped after he kicked it. So just a lot of free kicks here for ill-disciplined play.
Is it difficult to umpire games like this, Ash?
It is when it gets niggly on both sides. You know, you've got to pay the free kicks to sort it out.
So Deary here hand passes back to Drugamolla. The check side kick into the forward line. Ben Rioli's there, so is Smith. Smith's just bumped out of the way by Eilert. Premiership teammates there. Cameron Eilert, Ryan Smith and Ben Rioli have a number of premierships between them. Of course, Cameron Eilert moving from St Mary's 2 years ago. Ball up in the 50 here for the Tigers. Looking dangerous, of course, when they have the ball. Ben Rioli was taken high. The umpire says play on. Jack Long's in there. Gives the handball back to Clark. Clark just kicks in hope it's going to land here for Butcher. How does the ball bounce? Sits up for him. Under pressure. McMurray goes without it. Good pick up by Morris Rioli Jr. Play on, the umpire said. I thought he had his head taken off. Hand passes in here. Drugamolla's going to run into an open goal, and he's kicked it. He snuck it in. So the Tigers have their 7th. Drugamolla has his 1st. And St Mary's just can't buy a goal at the moment.
No, but they were really put under pressure there by the Nightcliff midfield, who just forced a turnover. I got to say to you, both sides running at each other. Here we go. So the pressure's on Wilson onto Drugamolla, who then right foot sneaks it in.
Just 2 in the end.
And everyone pointing, asking if there was a touch or something. The umpire's happy with what happened. I will say to you, the pressure that Nightcliff is applying is substantial, but I umpired these 2 teams prior to Christmas. There's a lot of niggle between these 2 teams, and there is a lot set out on the field between the 2 teams. And I'm not surprised at some of the intensity that's going on.
Well, that game, St Mary's were beaten by Nightcliff by 37 points. If it's the score I've got that's right, they'll come out of the middle here, Saints. I just want you to ask a comment on Nightcliff's recruiting locally. Michael Hagan, Cameron Eilert, Philip Wills and Hugo Drugamolla, all from local teams here, so good recruiting.
Very good recruiting, and what's interesting is the siren sounds here at quarter time. Nightcliff 7 goals straight, 42, leads St Mary's 1 goal, 3-9.
Quick comment on the first quarter?
Well, I think the Nightcliff back 6 held up substantially because St Mary's really put them under pressure for those first 3 or 4 minutes. Nightcliff just has ball winners across the ground. The forward there, I'm just trying to think of his name very quickly. Melville is presenting himself very well for Nightcliff, and across the middle you've got runners like Cam Eilert, Kane Riley from defence, who is really providing a boost.
Good on you, Ash. Thanks for that. Quarter time here at TIO Stadium, and it's the Tigers comfortably out in front. 7 goals straight. St Mary's 1-3.
She's flying down to Alice today.
Don't forget to put away the garden furniture.
Yep, got it.
And just remember the TIO weather alerts.
Love you too.
She's off, but he's still got TIO. They cover you for territory weather, cyclone, storm surge, flood, hail, and they're local, so they can respond fast.
TIO? Storm staying, kids.
Another life saved with the Chemist Warehouse app. Take control of your health and wellness. Download now.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students. We have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Let's see. Roma, Verona.
Perhaps Barcelona.
Make your dream holiday a reality. Book your next getaway at Flight Centre with interest-free holidays and flexible repayment options.
Best in the air.
And everywhere.
Intersport, new concept store now opening at Arena Square. Go in and check out a world-class shopping experience. Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, dance, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence. No more! Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
So second quarter here about to go. Have a look at the scoreline there. 7 goals straight to 1 goal 3. And Nightcliff comfortably in control. Earlier today, it was the TIO Bombers over at Wanderers. 22 goals 11 to 6 goals 5. Match about to get underway here. Umpire standing in the middle. It's all been one-way traffic for Nightcliff. They've hardly raised a sweat. But we'll see what they can do in the second half. Here's Tash Medbury to second quarter.
Drogamulla and Matt go at it. Drogamulla wins the ball. Hand passes to Islet. Goes back track to Brody Philo. I reckon that's about his 5th clearance for this game, but straight to in the hands of Nick Yarran. Nick Yarran for St Mary's here. Paredes is all on his own again. It looks like Paredes and Philo are matching up on each other, but just playing their own games and not tagging each other, which is good to see. So St Mary's take the mark out wide. McMurray kicks it in. Raphael Clark's going to get there first. Drops the mark he should have taken. Nathan Brown's there trying to pick up there. Was Kidney. Kicks it out. Lands in the arms here of St Mary's. But again, can't take the mark. Just fumbly here, the St Mary's player. Braxton Matt has it. Hand passes to McMurray. Clever. Hits it over to Matthias Liddy. Needs to get it on the boot. He does. It's an up and under kick. Ryan Smith's there. Has the height, but unfortunately, it goes out of through for a behind. So he had the height there, but just used his body, the Nightcliff defenders there.
It was remiss of me not to mention Nathan Brown. He's been an absolute stalwart for Nightcliff in the back 6 in this first part of the game.
Kick to Kane Riley outside 50. Good defender he is. He goes along the boundary line with the kick. Searching out there for the big man. Couldn't take the mark though. Rolled out of play. They'll have to throw it back in again.
The other thing about that shot very quickly with Matthias Liddy, Charlie, was that we just got a snapshot of what he is capable of on the 50, but they need to convert those opportunities.
So here's the throw in and the tap down. Came from Hugo Drogamulla along the boundary line. Nightcliff with a little kick. Brought it back in the field of play, was okay. Gave it to Islet, goes to the middle to Butcher. Butcher on the run now from the centre of the ground. The kick wasn't that good.
Islet was taken out by Paredes, Charlie, in back play there.
Mark Noonan was right there, held his vision, saw it. Islet is not in a hurry to get up.
Now, Islet is still down, so there's Butcher. But the free kick has been played here.
He hasn't moved. I reckon he might be a bit concussed here. If we see the replay, I reckon he's copped him high.
Are they going to get the game going?
So here's Butcher. His kick inside 50. So the niggle continues, and Islet's been where the target is for St Mary's, which is disappointing. He's been a great servant for Saints. He really doesn't deserve what he gets, and especially when it's behind the play. But the ball inside 50. Mark Noonan looking over his shoulder. Tosses it up. Punch down. Ben Rioli with the hit. Didn't get it clear. Ball on the ground. Hagan in there with a high tackle. He went quiet after he was spoken to by the umpire in that first quarter, Michael Hagan.
So free kick here to Yarran.
Yeah.
Again was taken high.
It was pretty much a headlock.
He, as Charlie said earlier, he cops it every week, but always jumps back to his feet. Courageous player, young Nick Yarran.
Son of the great Norm. Record holder for the most goals in a game.
Then comes out to a teammate in Hodges, young Braith Hodges. We've seen him last week, played pretty well. Gets out to Kinthari. Kinthari can take him on here. He has the speed as well. He does. Needs to pick up this ball now. He does. Trying to get a hand pass away to a teammate. Just no numbers there, St Mary's, and Nightcliff here are going to just mop up too easy. No pressure. Kinthari wasn't watching, and it's the chain of hand passes here for St Mary's for Tigers ends up with Philo, and the mark's taken on centre wing for the Tigers.
Little chance to go short here to Wilson. Takes the mark. Sean Wilson. It's onto the right boot, goes with the kick across the field. Plenty of players out wide here. Two Nightcliff players have got in each other's way. Dirksen got it, went back with the handball. Now they'll go kick with short with the kick by Riley. Put it out wide into the hands there of Bricknell. Bricknell goes along the boundary line with the kick, just kept it in the field of play. Philip Wills trying to get to the foot. He can't get it. Ben Rioli got the better of him in the end and forced it over the boundary line for a boundary line throw in at the 4-minute mark. 42 plays 10.
Good structure from Nightcliff here. They're playing what you might term a quarterback exit. So whenever a player gets under pressure, he's always got someone behind them.
Just the crowd there, the St Mary's crowd. Danielle Ponter, of course, in that crowd as well, just being picked up by the Adelaide Crows women's team. Hopefully we see her play next week in the trial game. The mark taken here by Ben Taylor. The St Mary's again, just no runners for him up forward. They're just standing there waving, as Fred Murphy says, looking like they're waving for taxis. Good mark there by Raphael Clark. Plays on quickly. Kicks it into Shawnee Edwards. A little bit of a push out there. It's okay. Gets back to Shawnee Edwards. Numbers here again for the Tigers. Getting back there was Mumsgo. Gets it to Shawnee Edwards. He's going to go in and kick his first and the second for St Mary's. The umpire let that go. That's a goal. A much-needed goal there to St Mary's, and Shawnee Edwards kicked it for them.
Yeah, and good build-up there and good work by Raph Clark. he took the great mark and then got it moving forward straight away. It got a bit scrambly, and gee, there was a few Nightcliff defenders around, but it was fantastic work here from Edwards. Keep push forward. See how many Nightcliff Guernseys are there. Quick hands over the top. Sean Edwards runs into effectively an open goal, but they got the ball up there quickly, and they've got forwards that are prepared to contest. They seem to be down a bit on numbers, though, because Nightcliff is working back and flooding back very good. And
one of them was Matthew Jeffrey, young Matthew Jeffrey, in the forward line there, along with Mitch Musgrove.
So the Tigers win it out of the middle. They kicked out towards the half-forward line. And Dirksen with the kick off his left boot went back towards the centre of the ground. Nightcliff not able to get the ball here. Saints will come away with it. Here's Clark with the kick. Marius Clark out towards the wing, trying to reach over the top.
He played on there, I thought.
It was a terrific mark taken there in the end, wasn't it? Sean Wilson gave the handball away, caught in the tackle, gone, and Saints are going to win the free kick. It's going to be with Raf. Clark gets onto the right boot. He's got a player out wide there in Liddy. Can he run onto it? Liddy come from a long way back. Didn't chase the footy anywhere near hard enough. Got to the boundary line, went out of play. There's a real chance there for Matthias Liddy to run onto that footy hard. He just didn't do it hard enough.
And again, Clark just swiveled, got the kick, swiveled onto his preferred foot and just sent it into open space for someone to run onto.
Tigers players looking on there, some of the supporters.
Boundary throw in. Smith wins the tap down. Saunders is there. He was tackled. The ball comes back to Drugamola. Just shimmies the tackle there and then just hand passes it straight in his teammate's face. It's a bit of a falcon. Saunders needs to get rid of it. Just gets boot to ball. Good pressure by Wills. Paredes again, just hard running. Shawnee Edwards gets the handball away. No, the umpire said that's a throw. I thought that was a hand pass, but the umpire was a bit blindsided to that. Free kick going to the Tigers here.
Might be Bowles, is it? It's got that.
Yeah, it is Bowles, Charlie. Thank you. Centre wing, and just a lucky bounce over the top to Liam Fitz. Hand pass over the back. McMurray's there, good one-on-one. They need the numbers to come. That's a good tackle. Manages to get rid of the ball. Still on centre wing here for the Tigers. Quick kick out by Williams. Lands in front of Deary. Ben Taylor's there to mop up for St Mary's. Butcher's hot on his hammer. So just the numbers here for the Tigers. If you look on the screen, the amount of Tigers players around that ball compared to St Mary's is the difference here in this game.
And they're getting 3 or 4 players around, putting pressure on the ball carrier, and then quick hands, opening it up, finding space.
That preparedness to run, that's what's working for them here. 7 goals to 2 goals for. They're comfortably in front. Handball around the corner there came from Tyler Saunders. Wilson out of the middle, onto the right boot he goes, inside 50, the kick's okay, good defensive work, punched away towards the boundary line and out of play. So Saints there with defensive work good, but they're under real pressure at the moment, aren't they, at the 8-minute mark of the second term?
Yeah, they are, and Nightcliff demonstrating that they've got the run in the legs. They've clearly done more work over Christmas. Saints just under pressure all over the ground at every contest, and not just by 1 or 2 players, by 3 and 4 players.
You've got to give credit to Chris Bucks, I reckon. There's lots of question marks about him last year, but he's done a good job with his team. They're playing good footy.
He has. Ryan Smith hand passes it out to Rioli. That's Ben. Push in the back. The umpire lets that go. McMurray is surrounded by Tigers players, as we were talking about. Yaron's there to help him. McMurray can't get it out. Paredes rocks up, picks it up, takes on his player. Gets a quick kick up to centre wing. Young Jeffrey's there, and the ball's going to go out of bounds, so there's going to be a boundary throw in. 8.5 minutes gone.
Ash, what makes Paredes such a good player? Willingness to run?
Oh, I just think he's hard at the ball. He puts his head over the ball, and he's got this ability, because of his strength through the quads and thighs, he can just shake a player off.
Strong player he is. He's getting so much of the footy. Players getting over the top of this now. I'm waiting for Paredes to come in and get it. He didn't. Marius Clark is there, ball forced towards the boundary line, now to play.
Free kick.
So it's going to be a Saints free kick, and Marius Clark has it. Out there on the far side of the ground, he's got the helmet on, goes with the right boot, kicks it up high, inside 50. It's going to drop a little short, reading it best and dropping back. Kane Riley in defence, been a good defender in this match so far, good defender for most of the year, and a key defender for the Tigers.
Kicks it long, another up and under kick, waiting for the high flyers. Jack Long from the back with the fist. Comes out to Taylor. Taylor with the hand pass out to Paredes. There's your man, Charlie. Delivers it into the forward line. I think he was dumped after he kicked it as well. So the free kick's going to go to Shawnee Edwards, who's looking likely up there at full forward. Sean Edwards, of course, played AFL
He's giving him a target, Sean Edwards, but again, Paredes just hit late there, and after disposal, the ball was well and truly in the air, so holding the vision, free kick found upfield. Sean Edwards will go back and have a shot. And Saints really need this. I mean, you know, look at this again on the scoreboard, Tash. 6 scoring shots to 7 with Edwards lining up.
He comes in and it looks good off the boot. He's kicked his second. He knew as soon as that left his boot that he'd kicked it. Shawnee Edwards. The experience of Shawnee Edwards is paying off in this quarter. They need to keep him up there.
Now, I'm going to harp on this, but 7 scoring shots apiece, Charlie, which is exactly what happened last week as we go back and watch a replay. They ended up with, Saints ended up with the same number of scoring shots as Waratahs and lost the game by 30 points. 20 shots each and lost the points. Now we hopefully can see something where they can at least level it up as Edwards go back. He knew it was a goal.
Wasn't a brilliant kicking style that he has for goal there, Shawnee
that's why
Edwards.
he played at the top level.
Tash, can I ask you then, Ash rather, is bad kicking bad footy? You've got a share of the football.
Look at Nightcliff, they got no points, 7 straight.
He has actually, the Saints are doing themselves no favours by not converting their opportunities.
Well, there's at least 3 there they should have got.
Yep. Taylor has the ball, kicks it forward. Raphael Clark, he's a target up there, just can't bring down the marks at the moment. Shawnee Edwards has moved up the field, chips it over the top looking for Clark. Kane Riley's there. That's a great matchup between those two. Trying to get it out. Here's the Nightcliff defenders under a bit of pressure. Got a bit of momentum here, St Mary's. Quinn runs in to the 50, has a ping at the goals. Where does it bounce? Straight across the face. So probably a good result.
Absolutely.
Here for St Mary's. So deep in the forward pocket, there's going to be a boundary throw in. So just a little bit of momentum going out to St Mary's here.
But it could have been a better kick, could have kicked that goal, really.
Well, yeah.
He's under pressure, obviously.
No, he's under pressure, but how good is it you got 2 former AFL players like Sean Edwards and Raph Clark, you know, being able to combine across a half-forward line.
And with the youngsters that they have in the team as well.
Here's the throw-in. Saints making a real go at them here at the moment in this second quarter. Nightcliff haven't added to their quarter-time score. Saints have kicked a couple. Handball into some vacant area there. Ball left on the ground. Picked up by Matthias Liddy. Tried to get the kick around the body. Couldn't get it. Tried to bulldoze his way through. Wasn't able to get. Quinn got in there to try and help him. Quinn pushed out of it. Saints here try to get it off. Into the hands this time of Sean Edwards. Snaps it goal. Kicks the goal.
He's check side again last week.
There's a pack there and he's kicked his 3rd goal for the quarter. Saints are having a go.
Saints are very much having a go, and that man Edwards is leading the revival. 3 goals this term alone. St Mary's moved to 4 goals forward, 28. Nightcliff 7 straight goals. We watched this out.
And we seen last week, Ashwood, the check side.
Yep.
He kicked a goal, 1 or 2 goals last week, Charlie, in your absence, exactly the same way. The good old check side kick.
In fact, he was converting the hard ones and missing the easy ones.
What was good for Saints down in that forward line there, they had about 4 players all facing the goals, weren't they?
Yeah, they were ready for it. And young Quinn, who we talked about before in the contest and kick across the face, actually was there to help out.
So Paredes just tunnels the ball along the ground there. Sean Wilson ends up with it. Kicks out wide here to Dirksen. Safe hand usually Dirksen. Takes the mark in front of Ben Rioli. Just looking for Trent Melville. Just chips it over the top. It's a brilliant kick for his full forward, but Davies gets there and spoils. Yaron hand passes over the top to a teammate. Links up with Ben Rioli. Looking good here, St Mary's. Kicks forward, looking for Braxton Armat. Thought he was held on to there. The ball's going to bounce in favour of him, but it's going to go out of bounds. Geez, the water runners were lucky to get out the way there. They were probably both caught in the play, which is luckily that the free kick wasn't given. So the ball's gone out of bounds, but looking dangerous here. Good signs for St Mary's. They need to capitalise on it.
Craigie Oldroyd there sitting amongst that group watching on. Little kick from Nightcliff under pressure. Bounces up towards the wing. Ben Rioli overruns the footy, goes back, second effort, didn't get it. And the Tigers got the kick away. Down towards the line, came off the chest with the player running hard at the footy. Deary.
Out of bounds, he's called it.
Kicked a couple, Deary, but that one out of bounds, I'm not sure it was.
Line ball, that one.
All I say is that Sammy Wright was in a better position than we are looking up. He was looking along the line, so that's I'll back him on that front.
Thomas Davies with the kick. One of us umpires.
He's going to get a lot of drinks from your umpire teammates, I'll tell you.
I'm the president, I hope so.
Here's Raph Clark with a kick inside 50.
The ball goes out of bounds again, and there's that target, Shawnee Edwards, with 3 goals this quarter. He's letting him know, just probably put it to the top there. Top of the square.
He is, and Matthias Liddy's sort of sharking around. He's about 35 out, Matthias, in the middle corridor from this boundary throw-in.
So look for Nate Paredes in a situation like this. Usually comes to the fore, comes down. Ben Taylor's there, tackled by Paredes. Ben Taylor wraps him up. The umpire's going to ball it up.
Just speaking of the umpire's tax, can I say Ash has got new singlets on sale next week. It's got written on the front, umpires were much closer than I was.
You guys have got those text messages off me before.
Yeah, I have. I have. I appreciate them too. Shawnee Wilson can't pick up the ball. Clark goes in, hand passes out to some space. Picked up by Philo. He's under pressure. That's holding the ball umpire. The umpire says play on. Ben Taylor runs in, kicks into an open goal, and he's kicked the St Mary's 5th goal of this quarter. Well done. Sorry, they've got their 4th of this quarter, but just exciting play there, St Mary's, and look at them all get around Brody Philo as well. St Mary's are just ripping it into him.
Well, once again, we'll just look at this tackle here. It was Ben Rioli, loose ball, umpire calls advantage, goal.
And a good advantage, I must say, as well, called by the umpire.
It was, but how about the actual persistence of the Saints players there, because there's a number of players around, but great chase down by Benny Rioli there to put enormous pressure onto Brody Philo. And let's be honest, for the first part of this game, for the first 1.5 quarters of this game, that's not the type of pressure we've seen out of St Mary's. We've started to see it now, starting to apply some serious scoreboard pressure here to Nightcliff.
7 goals to 5-4. It's been plenty in this quarter. They've kicked Saints 4 goals, 1. Tigers haven't bothered the scorers at all. Here they come away again. Saints out of the middle. Left foot kick down towards Matthias Liddy in front position. 1 grab, 2 grab. Takes a terrific mark out in front of Daniel Bowles. Got on the right boot. Went with the kick out to Ryan Smith. Takes the mark at 50. The big ruckman doesn't mind kicking a goal, I can tell you that. He's a long way out. He's going to kick from 52. He's going to go short. Searching for a teammate. Kicked it out far too wide and got it just to the boundary line and out of play.
Shawnee Edwards and Raphael Clark actually got in each other's way and nearly knocked each other over there. So
to me, it wasn't a bad idea to do what Smith did. He had 2 very good choices, but if they could have kept it in, they could have teamworked it and scored.
Matt's done well in the ruck here, the young fella. That's holding the ball, umpire. He took it out of the ruck, umpire. Got hands onto it, but the umpire says play on. I thought that was a bad call there by the umpires. He took it directly out of the ruck and was tackled.
Mike Noonan then in control, so, you know.
So the ball's gone out of bounds here.
I'll give him your mobile number.
Centre wing. No, he's already got it. Mark Noonan's very used to me, I think, after many years.
Really good contests around the ground here at the moment between the 2 sides, Charlie. They are really going head to head.
So Ryan Smith from the back got there high. He's been invigorated by what he's seen from his teammates, the big Rhino. He's got involved with all of this. They kick it down towards a 50-metre line, ball left behind there. Chance for the Tigers to get it. They didn't. Little kick along the boundary line. It's going to go out of bounds on the full. Let's have a look.
That was young Musgrove just under pressure there. Couldn't quite hold it up. And the breeze is actually going across the ground here at Marara, so that would have assisted with that kick just then sending it over.
Yeah, it's turned, hasn't it? It was favouring the airport end.
It was favouring the airport end, but now it's going directly across.
So skipper Nathan Brown to get that kick along the boundary line. That's him there. Number 8, you can see there, Raf Clark, former St Kilda player, plays for Saints. Brown at the 18-minute mark. 34 points, plays 42. Saints making a real charge in this quarter. No breeze to speak of. Here's the kick up towards the wing. Ball knocked clear, rolls back and out of play along the wing, and they'll throw it back in.
Well, 8 points the margin. 9 scoring shots to 7. They're putting a fair bit of scoreboard pressure on on Nightcliff at the moment, the St Mary's side. And it's been through Raf Clark. It's been through Sean Edwards, who's kicked 3 goals already this quarter. And Matthias Liddy has been very useful across half forward.
Can I also just say Cameron Eilert, since that knock, has gone very quiet. We haven't seen too much.
He's on the field.
Yeah, he's back on there, but why he was off, that's when the tide really started to turn St Mary's way. So Raphael Clark goes for the mark. Well done by the smaller player and Philo, I think, to put that pressure on Raphael Clark. But as you said, he has presented very well. Hasn't taken all the marks, but he's certainly brought it to ground for the smaller players around him.
No, and I think that's one of the advantages. He may not be taking the mark, but he's actually bringing it down in front, so his teammates know what's going to happen.
Second efforts as well. Smith's just pushed out the way there. The ball comes out. First there is Hodges. Hodges does well, gets boot to ball. Saunders thought he had his arms chopped. The umpire says play on. Big Smith, the one-hander. Ryan Smith, he's having a good game as well. Young Armat's helping him out in the ruck this week. Missing Delahunty. that usually chops out in the ruck with him. Just a nice chip over the top to a teammate, Mitch Musgrove. So the young Saints player, 60 metres out, drives it in. Not a good-looking kick. It was touched on the mark, so the umpire says play on. Philip Wills ducked a high shot there. Was lucky, I reckon. Otherwise, he might have been lights out for Phil Wills. Picked up here by Kinthari. Kinthari with the clever hand pass and then just throws the Tigers player over the boundary line, and it's gone out of bounds for a boundary throw-in. Good pressure again by St Mary's.
It is, and good field position for St Mary's as well, so they can actually bring it back in reasonable, though their forward line's very congested. See if they can bring in a grab.
So Edwards is going to do the ruck work here. Knocked away by Hugo Drogamala towards the boundary line. Picked up by Ferreira onto the right boot. Kicked inside 50 for Saints, keeping the pressure on. They're turning the screws here. Pushing the back, that is. Will the umpire rule as such?
No, he's paid holding the ball.
Holding the ball. Free kick to Philip Wills, the former Buffalo. Now with the Tigers. Great player. Really good player. Had some time out with an injury, but he's been in good form this year. The kick down towards the wing comes off hands and out of play. 21 minutes gone here in the second term, and the lead is 42 points to 34, so 8 points in favour of the Tigers.
Well, been a pretty good turnaround for St Mary's, I've got to tell you, in this second term. They've really applied some pressure around the ground, and they've got rewards on the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's been a good 10 minutes since it's gone into the Tigers 50, if that. Taken out here by the Tigers. Poor kick. Nick Yarren's there to chop it off. Drives it back towards Armat. Saunders is running on Ferreira on the outside there. Clever hit over the top to Matthias Liddy. Picks it up. Needs to have a crack at the goals. He does. No, it's going to land short. Kinthari's there. Comes to ground. Raphael Clark's there. Picks it up. Over the top, and has he kicked the goal? He has. Raphael Clark's kicked his first. St Mary's have their 6. Exciting footy here by St Mary's. A young team up against a very dominant Tigers team, but I tell you what, this has been a brilliant quarter by St Mary's.
What has happened out there, Ashley Manakaris?
Well, basically, I think the Saints side just lifted and put the pressure on their Nightcliff opponents. You know, where we saw it was Raph Clark, right foot, snaps it. You know, he's been in everything, and so too is Sean Edwards. And by them being in everything, they brought Matthias Liddy in. Now, that's about the third time Matthias Liddy's from 35 or 40 out has dropped it into the square. But then in the midfield, we're seeing people like Paredes and Ryan Smith starting to get on top. And then Ben Rioli across the half-back. And
their younger players as well, so Ferreira,
Quinn.
Mitch Musgrove, Quinn.
Yeah, Musgrove, they're starting to get their hands on the footy. Now, you can only do that when space gets opened up for you, and that's being done for them.
5 unanswered goals here from the Saints in a remarkable comeback in this second term. Almost half-time it here. Ryan Smith got the handball away. They can go forward with Paredes again. The super player kicks it inside 50. Ball lands on the ground. Edward gets to it under pressure. Gets it on the bounce. Playing basketball with it. Got it on the right boot. Went towards the pocket. Plenty of Nightcliff supporters back there. Handball out here. Chance for St Mary's from directly out in front. Jeffrey was it? Yeah. Jeffrey kicks the goal. Matthew Jeffrey got a pearler of a handball from Raph Clark through.
And from Raph Clark.
Let's see these basketball skills by Shawnee Edwards. Hopefully we see it here. We're going to see it here. Look at the effort here. He was behind his player, gets in, has a second crack, bounces it to himself, and then
to right hand.
Quickly gets it on the boot. Wowee. And good to see Matthias Liddy crush the pack as well.
Yep, he just contested, and then Raph Clark experience demonstrated here. Seeing he had a runner in Jeffrey, bang, goal.
Let's put this for our viewers and listeners here. It was Saints down by 33 points at quarter time. They've kicked all of the score in this second term. It's almost half time, and they are leading after being 32 points down. They're up by 4.
Philo kicks it in to the 50. Is it going to make the 50? No. So it still hasn't gone into the 50 here for the Tigers. Pretty much all of this quarter, just so dominant. But Philo's back on the ball.
Well, look, last week we had a very entertaining game, scores at 20 scoring shot each, and now we're seeing it again, a good game of football. And Saints showed last week that they were up for an arm wrestle. They've demonstrated again, now they've taken it a bit further because they're now kicking goals.
So they just need to hold on here, St Mary's. Try and take this lead into half-time will be a very big bonus for them. Philip Wills just shrugs off a tackle. Now it comes into the 50. Let's see how the kick lands. Michael Hagan takes it, then he's had his head taken off. Unfortunately, there Ben Rioli's got Michael Hagan high, and he is a goal kicker. Kicked 4 goals last week, Michael Hagan. So
you would think this is well within his range, within his distance. You know, he spent a year or two on the Thunder list and...
Premiership play with Thunder as well.
These are the types of goals that he was paid to kick when he played with Thunder, so you would think that he's well within his distance here.
Is a Darwin born and bred boy now, living in Cairns, I believe, so he flies over from Cairns. Nick Yarran's on the mark, comes in, looks good off the boot, goes straight across the face. They need to punch it through. Smith ends up with it. Hand passes to a teammate in Frawley, and that's going to stay in. No, it's gone out of bounds on the full. So the Tigers here are going to have the free kick through Bricknell, and he is a brilliant goal kicker as well. If I was Bricknell, I'd go back and have a crack.
Well, good pressure there from Cameron Islet on Tom Frawley.
Bricknell's having a bit of a look around. He won't take your advice here, Tash. He's not going to. He's going to go to the corridor with the kick. Plenty of St Mary's players there. Ball lands on the ground, knocked away there cleverly by Wade Dirksen. Pack comes over the top of it. Saints emerge with the footy, lose it towards the boundary line. They did pretty well there. Thomas Davies, one of them.
Rioli, oh, I thought Rioli was taken without the ball there.
No.
Pleading his case as well.
Boundary line there, but you know, that would be a worrying sign for me if I was the Nightcliff coach. I would want my goal kicker, and let's face it, Matty Bricknell's a goal kicker, to have a shot.
Yeah, I'm with you, Ash.
That's a confidence. That looks like a confidence thing for me.
Boundary throw in. Smith, I think, is dominating the ruck now against Drogamolla. So just Nick Yarran comes away with it, just a torpedo. That's a booming kick. Matthias Liddy, I reckon's got hands to the ball before it's gone out. No,
out of bounds on the full again by the looks of it.
They quickly plays on, looking for Butcher. It's going to be chopped off by Rioli Jr. Can he pick it up and go? He does, but he's tackled by Riley, taken to ground, gets the ball away first. Clark, Butcher picks it up, back to Riley, back to Butcher. Butcher drives it in, misses Cameron Islet, comes to the back to Jack Long. He just quickly gets boot to ball. If it goes out, it could be called deliberate. They're going to scream for it. And Mark Noonan says, throw it in. Oh, wowee. Fortunate for St Mary's, but there was one direction he was going there, and that was the boundary.
He kicked for touch, Tash. Here's the throw in at the 50.
You reckon that was a 40-20 he was aiming for?
Indeed. Good tap there. Butcher involved in that ruck contest, though. Not surprising that he got beaten. Ball left on the ground. Islet looking for it. Got there with the tackle. Held it up. Elbow went in there accidentally. Umpire has a close look at it. Appealing is Tyler Saunders. Umpire ignores it and will ball it up deep in the forward pocket here for the Tigers. 27 minutes gone in this second term. Stunning revival by Saints. Down by 33 at quarter time, in front by 4 as we almost hear the siren here. Ryan Smith nearly got it, didn't get it. Hurried kick comes out for Saints now, and the Tigers in the way. Mark right on the siren. He played. Did he play?
It was touched. It was touched.
Okay, it was never going to be a mark.
It was. So just quickly get a comment from you in what's been a remarkable comeback, Ashley Manakaris.
Sean Edwards for St Mary's, Raph Clark for St Mary's, Matthias Liddy for St Mary's, really starting to put the pressure on, and they're high-fiving each other as they walk off the ground. Nightcliff players looking a little bit dejected, but all of a sudden across the ground there were young players stepping up like Mitch Musgrove, like Quinn, like Jeffrey, who got brought into the game. People like Ben Rioli, Ryan Smith started to step up. Paredes has already been a contributor for Saints, but realistically they became more effective. They got on top after trailing by such a margin at quarter time. They've now hit the front to be 4 points up here at halftime. 7 goals, 4 to 7 straight goals.
37-point turnaround. Stunning revival by the Saints here at halftime. They lead this match against the Tigers. 7 goals, 4 Saints. Nightcliff 7 goals.
She's flying down to Alice today.
Don't forget to put away the garden furniture.
Yep, got it.
And just remember the TIO weather alerts. Garden furniture!
Love you too.
She's off, but he's still got TIO. They cover you for territory weather, cyclone, storm surge, flood, hail, and they're local, so they can respond fast.
TIO? Storm staying, kids.
Absolutely 0.
0? Yeah, definitely.
It has to be 0.
Yes.
Yep. Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
How does he do it?
4.5 kilowatt diesel motor.
He doesn't just know how to operate every piece of Kennard's high gear we get in, but also its service details and safety checks. I don't know.
It's as if he can hypnotise each piece. Give me 2 passes with sauce, coffee white with 1 bun with icing, no pancakes. Yep, no worries, Terry.
Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Are you overrun with rubbish and need a skip bin? For easy disposal from your garden cleanup, renovation or spring clean? When you think skip bins, think NTRS. NTRS, your friendly, reliable and local waste disposal company.
Hello and a big welcome to TIO Stadium in Darwin. Round 13 in the NTFL competition. The match in front of us. It's the second place Nightcliff Tigers taking on St Mary's. St Mary's in 7th position. They have a real challenge in front of them. They want to play finals footy. They need to win this one tonight, but they have an enormous challenge in front of them. The Tigers looking very, very good. Joining us in commentary, Ash Manakaris is with us. Ash, welcome.
Thanks, Charlie. How are you?
Not too bad. We'll get a comment from you in just a moment. And Tasha Medbury with us as well. Tash, nice to have you on board.
Thanks, Charlie.
Give us your thoughts on this game, Ash. How's it going to go?
Well, for my money, it's going to be difficult for St Mary's. Nightcliff is a side that has an enormous amount of depth in it. You look at the top there, starting with Michael Hagan. It goes through Kane Riley across the back, Nathan Brown, the skipper. Then you've got Cam Eilert in the middle. There you've got Brodie Philo, a Nichols medalist. Cam Eilert's a Nichols medalist, and Phil Wills. They've just got an enormous amount of depth. And then up forward, they've got Melville, and they've got Butcher also in the midfield. So for that money, but equally, St Mary's, gee, they've got some good players. Raf Clark, Shawnee Edwards, 2 former AFL players going around. An interesting note today, Delahunty is out for St Mary's, which will mean that Ryan Smith will have to ruck a fair bit. They brought in young Braxton Armat for him, and I'm also pleased to see that Morris Rioli Jr. is in the lineup today. I think that's probably the future for St Mary's, but on what I saw last week, you would think Nightcliff's got this game.
All right, should be a terrific game. Tash Medbury, just a quick comment from you.
Yeah, just looking at the team list, I think Tigers will be too strong today.
10 wins and 2 losses the Tigers carry into this game here tonight. Probably be 11 and 2. We'll have to wait and see. Match not that far away. Second half about to get underway here. This incredible game has been turned on its head on the back of a terrific second quarter from St Mary's. Down by 33 points at quarter time, up by 4 points at half time. 37-point turnaround. We've seen nothing quite like it. Ashley Manakaris.
No, we haven't, and we were talking about it during the break, and none of us could remember when Nightcliff was last held scoreless in a quarter of football here in the NTFL. It's got to be at least 2 seasons, so that'd be quite a worrying sign there. And just as they were coming off at half-time, I've got to tell you, the Nightcliff coach, Chris Bash, kept them together inside the white lines for a while, talking to them, and was quite vigorous in his body language in terms of what he was wanting and what he was looking for, and not really surprised. St Mary's did to Nightcliff what Nightcliff had done to St Mary's in that first term, and really outbodied them, outworried them, and put pressure on them.
Well, that score you can see at the bottom of your screen there. Nightcliff 7 goals, St Mary's 7. For at quarter time was Nightcliff 7 goals, St Mary's 1 goal 3. It's nothing short of remarkable. Tash, seen anything like it?
No, great comeback, and as Ash said, the experienced players along with the youngsters just played a team effort in that second quarter, so I hope that they can keep it up.
Second half about to get underway here at the TIO Stadium. Round 13 in the NTFL. Here's Natasha Medbury.
Smith, Drogamullah. Smith has done so well in the ruck, gets it down to his midfielders in Paredes. Paredes picks it up, runs into Liddy, but gets the ball away into the forward line. The move's been made, and Taylor is up in the forward line for St Mary's. Look at the numbers here for the Tigers, a lot better than in the second quarter. Shawnee Wilson, the chain of hand passes. We've seen the coach talk to the players about hand passing. Philo for the Tigers kicks it into the 50. Comes down to Ferreira. Had a good second quarter. Look at this, Paredes is all on his own. He can turn and go, he does. Looking for Ryan Smith, no, he's kicked it further. He had Ryan Smith all by himself. Good work from Edwards from the back, brings the ball to ground. Morris Rioli Jr. gets the ball away to Quinn. And here's a big Ryan Smith. Can he get a goal? He loves kicking a goal, the ruckman. He's dancing around his opponent. And does he squeeze it in? No. Oh.
Well, he did all the right moves there for Dancing with the Stars, but he couldn't quite get it around onto his right boot to get it there. But
great build-up.
Great build-up and good pressure, and Paredes out on his own.
Brown brings it in, kick for the Tigers. Along the boundary line he goes, gives it off to Hagan. Hagan goes upfield a little further, puts it in the hands here of Bowles. Stuck along the boundary line, wants someone to move, no one's moving. Now he's going to go, gets onto that left boot. He's got a good kick on him too. It goes down over the centre line. High fly there over the top of Saunders. Ball went to ground. Gathered in this time by Williams. Kick out wide, and Nightcliff doing it pretty well. Mark taken down there by Trent Melville. Gone quiet, kicked a couple of goals in the first quarter. Coming to this match with 41 big ones. It's got 43 now. Along the boundary line they go. Philip Wills emerges with the footy. Spills out wide. Cleaned up out there. Saints know it's out of place as the umpire boundary line throw in.
Yeah, I wasn't actually convinced about the matchup between Trent Melville and Tommy Frawley, but as the game's worn on and moved on, Frawley has worn Melville down.
Boundary throw in. The ruckman didn't read the throw in there, but Smith got there. Number of players, the ball comes out. Tigers player got boot to ball. Big pack around this ball. Comes out to the back. Big Ryan Smith again. Links up with Paredes. Paredes can have a bounce. He does. He has one. Has Kinthari over the top, has another bounce through the midfield, off to Kinthari. He can put the afterburners on Francis Kinthari. He does. Delivers it into the 50. Looking for Shawnee Edwards. Can he get there on the bounce? Picked up by Quinn. Quinn's taken. The umpire says play on. Playing advantage here, I think. It's with Brown. The Tigers skipper, it's a dangerous kick. Will Rioli get there? He does. Needs to keep his feet. Jumps to his feet now. Pushes it along the ground to Paredes, and the ball goes out of bounds on the full. So it's come off a Tigers player, and it's going to be Nate Paredes' free kick.
Wasn't Butterick out there, I reckon, for the Tigers?
And he didn't actually realise it was his free kick, Nate Paredes. So a good start to this third quarter by St Mary's. So they've kept the momentum. I was a bit worried that Nightcliff would come out and jump them in the first 5 minutes, but St Mary's have kept the measure here. Paredes is a goal kicker. Can he nail this one? No, he centres it, and Liddy's there. Needs to crush the pack. He does. And they're going to run out here. Wilson just bursts through Yaron. Kicks out wide looking for Eilert. Can it stay in? No, it's gone out of bounds for another boundary throw in. So good work there by the Nightcliff defenders.
Yeah, but I got to say to you, Nicky Yarran lays that tackle on Sean Wilson, and Saints were away because they had 2 or 3 players around. We saw this at the opening of the, as Morris Rioli Jr. looks like he's coming off the ground limping. We saw this at the opening of the game where Saints put pressure onto Nightcliff and really kept the ball inside their 50 as Paredes runs away with it.
Paredes again from a long way out, kicks down towards the pocket. Oh, great work in front there. Terrific mark taken by the ever-reliable Nathan Brown, the skipper. Goes across the goal line with it. Great work there by Saints. They got across. Quinn did really, really well. They'll come along the boundary line, the Tigers now. Handball didn't work well enough. Finished in the hands here of Taylor. And Taylor's kick was terrific and gets it to Kintari almost directly out in front. And he's going to cause some more pain here for the Tigers. They want to keep the momentum going. This man can deliver it for them right now.
Well, less than 2 metres off the ground, that foot pass. And great awareness to just... good effort by Quinn to put the pressure on and create a contest, which is what they did. The ball didn't go out. Nightcliff had to keep it in.
Kintari, Brown on the mark, kicks that goal, and he's let him down. He's missed it out to the left. Well, will that come back to haunt them? That was a goal they really should have got. St Mary's, Kintari misses.
Yeah, they missed goals like that last week. They missed a couple like that in the first quarter.
The long kick out here by Kane Riley. Dirksen paid the free kick. Needs to move it on quickly here. Plays on. That's an up and under kick. So the Tigers, this has been their kicking style in the last quarter. Comes down to Ben Rioli, over to Clark. Has Ferreira wide, ignores that. Has Ben Taylor even further, kicks it up towards Raphael Clark. Again, he brings the ball to ground. Numbers here for the Tigers. Wilson picks it up, hand passes to Philo. Philo up the line to a teammate in Bricknell. Been a bit quiet in this game, Bricknell. Plays on, delivers it to his forward and Deary. Deary goes without it. Saunders is there for St Mary's. Deary hand passes back to Butcher. Links up with Drogamolla. Kicks out wide to Hagan. Hagan plays on and kicks it to Eilert, and Eilert's taken the mark in front of Ryan Smith. So just a mismatch up there in the end, and Eilert was able to take an uncontested mark in the 50.
And again, Nightcliff had to then build that play up through a series of handball, contested balls, and work very hard before they could find some space, and Eilert found it.
And about their first shot at goal in over half an hour, I reckon it is.
It was patient footy, wasn't it, though, Nightcliff?
Yeah. They really just kept moving the ball around. They always had an option, went to the loose man, found Eilert. He leans back into it, and it's moved off to the right, through for a point.
So there's Eilert. He's missed that one. And so they get within 5 points now, and that's their first score since the first quarter.
Yeah.
Extraordinary. Here they come. Yarran with the kick out towards the wing, just short of the wing, punched away in defence from Clark. Ball goes to ground. On the charge, running through there was Phillip Wills. Gets it down towards the forward line. Pressure, and plenty of it. Sees it over the boundary line and out of play.
Just quickly to Ash, with the match-up between Kane Riley and Raphael Clark, I thought it's been a brilliant match-up. Do you think there's actually a winner in that match-up at the moment?
I'd give a slight advantage to Raph Clark, to be honest with you. He turned the game on its head in that second term.
The ball comes down to Dirksen. Dirksen hand passes over his head, picked up there by Mitch Musgrove. He caught one in the stomach, hasn't moved either. Geez, that's holding the ball. A good tackle there by Williams. I reckon he copped a hard one in the tummy there, wasn't ready for it. Saunders in front of Eilert. Eilert goes without it, butted up here by Frawley. Hand passes to Long. Jack Long has a player all by himself in Kintari. Kintari can take on his man on the mark, which is Melville. He doesn't. Kicks it up the line to Quinn. Very impressed with young Quinn. It was a Nightcliff junior that come over to St Mary's this season. Looks into the midfield. Just didn't time his kick there. Good tackle by Kintari. Lucky not to be earn the free kick there. Wills, just a steady head, goes back to Eilert. Eilert delivers it into the 50. Just the sitting duck there, Rioli was. Look at the St Mary's numbers here, picked up by Davies. Needs to get rid of it, does. Under a lot of pressure, and the ball's going to go out of bounds on centre wing. So again, the St Mary's backline just stood up there against the Tigers.
Yeah, Quinn, just to go back to Quinn a moment, he probably showed a little bit of inexperience there. If you're going to bring that ball back into the middle corridor, you want it to be 100% on. And he brought it back in, put Kinthari under pressure because he was surrounded by 2 or 3 Nightcliff players. They ended up getting it back, but Frawley up to it.
Tiger supporters looking on, wanting their team to fire up here. Standing in the ruck and then kicking the ball away. Can you do that?
Yeah, of course.
Well, he did it. There's no reason why you can't then. Ball still on the ground. Tigers desperate, trying to get their hands on it. Weren't able to get it. Kidney involved in all of that. Emerging with the footy, Marius Clark. Getting into the game a bit here. The younger of the Clark boys. Got a kick down towards the 50-metre line. Tried to get it off to his brother down there, and Ralph Clark, he didn't get it. Tigers through Kane Riley, win it at the 50-metre line. He gets another one. Kane Riley merges with the footy. They can go towards the centre now. That's a good kick. And the mark's going to be taken there by Sean Wilson, and Wilson goes down the middle. Here they go. That's Wills with the kick inside the 50-metre line. Finds Cam on it, looks infield with it, pumps it along, sets it up in this corridor, comes right back over the top. St Mary's with numbers at the fall of the ball. Tackling was pretty good. They hold it up. Spillage to Butcher. Umpire plays a free kick out of this one to go to Saints. The tackle was a beauty, and they've stopped the thrust there forward by the Tigers.
Yeah, young Hodges, and he needed to make that tackle because they couldn't afford for him to break through.
Rioli kicks it out, looking for Clark. That's gone out of bounds. So just again, that last bit of play was brilliant work there by St Mary's, but I thought Cameron Islet, he had a shorter option on and actually went to the longer one.
Well, they want to play out wide in that pocket for some reason when you're kicking into the breeze. I'm not quite sure the tactic for that.
It's a boundary throw in. Young Armats there against Drogamolla. Kicked off the ground again. Wilson hand passes to no one. Shawnee Edwards has gone back on the ball. Number 6 there gets it to Paredes. Paredes goes without it. Clark. No one can take possession of this ball. It's going to come out to Paredes, but there's been a whistle. The free kick is going the way of, no, pointed the wrong way, so it's going to the Tigers player in Miles.
He's probably paid a throw there on how that ball came out.
I reckon that's his first touch, Miles, big Miles. Kicks it into the 50, at the back of the pack here, just too easy. Phillip Wills goes in and kicks the Tigers' first goal since the first quarter. Much needed goal to the Tigers.
Well, that'll be a real settler for the Tigers as far as I can see. They would be happy that they'd be relieved after the second turn that they've actually got another major on the board, as Wills looks to his teammates to celebrate. The issue there for me was the ball was actually, they were on their way out, Saints. They had a lot of space, and Paredes again combining very well with his teammates. But Nightcliff up to the challenge and working a bit harder. Charlie, for my money, or Tash asked me previously about Kane Riley and Ralph Clark. If I was Brent Renouf, I'd be looking to throw that around a little bit. I just want Clark free. And I'd get him, been doing what I can to get him away, even if that moves moving him into the middle.
So from the middle, that was Miles in the ruck work there. It comes out to St Mary's. They power it down towards the corridor. Ryan Smith in the way there, didn't get it. Ball left on the ground, picked up by the ever-reliable down there. He's a great player, isn't he, Brown, the skipper, and they've got it out wide towards the boundary line. Just stays in the field of play. Tigers with the kick now, 1-on-2 here for them. Ball goes to ground. They weren't able to clean it up. Davies comes away with the footy for Saints. Kick down towards the centre of the ground. Out charging at the footy comes Ralph Clark. Kicked a goal in the second term, he did. Handball over the top was okay. Gave it to Paredes. They ran him down. They got to him. He kicked it inside 50. Chance to mark it down there was Jeffrey. He caught it. They got to him. He went to ground, ball and all. Ryan Smith wants a bit of it. Can't get it. Paredes gets him with a heavy tackle. Spillage came away to the Tigers. They can win it. They get it to Butcher. He's on the break from half back. Runs from the wing. Kicks it down to half forward. Oh, it's a good looking kick. Sets it up for Wills. Wills and Ben Rioli in battle here. Ben Rioli did best. Got the knock across to Jack Long. Couldn't get it. Ball on the ground. This time Wills got to it. Couldn't get clear. Little kick there by the Tigers. Out towards the boundary line. And it's going to roll out of play. But some terrific footy in that couple of minutes.
Good call, Charlie. That was intensive footy there.
Yeah, great call, Charlie King. I got to say to you, the intensity has lifted enormously there. Both sides deciding that they really want it here at Marara, and the body is being put on the line. Big effort between Ben Rioli and Phil Wills.
Matt wins a tap down, a brilliant tap down straight to Shawnee Edwards. Gets it quickly onto the boot. 2-on-1 here for the Tigers. Ferreira's kept out of it. Good play. Deary hand passes over the top to Bowles. Bowles just with a short kick to Butcher. Butcher takes it about 52 metres out. Probably just beyond his distance. He knows that too. Hand passes back to a running teammate. That's a booming kick. Lands in the square. Young Yaron gets hands to the ball. Matt needs to get rid of it. He does. Jack Long's got it. Quickly gets boot to ball. He was looking for Ben Rioli and he found him. Didn't look pretty, but it got the end result, and he's kicked it to the boundary. What are they going to call? Is it deliberate? No, they've said throw it in. So consistency there by the umpires that we've seen earlier in the second quarter as well.
Yeah, they're probably arguing that that Ben Rioli either miskicked it or was under enough pressure there.
That was a better touch finder, that one, I think.
It was. It's still a great. It's a great. I'm not going to respond to that. It's a great contest up there. Great contest up forward. But to go back to a point I wanted to talk about before, I'd actually be wanting to throw Raph Clark in the middle about
put him on the ruck
with
now.
Sean. Yeah. Get him in the middle, get him away from Kane Riley, open it up, get him in there, let him running onto the into an open space.
Drogamullah wins the tap down, point the difference here. Round 13 of the NTFL, a desperate St Mary's playing great footy. Ball pushed towards the boundary line. Umpire says it went out of play, and they'll have to throw it back in again. So Drogamullah to do the ruck work again. Let's see who he'll jump against. Probably might be
Matt, I think.
Braxton Armatt.
He's done well chopping out in the ruck.
Here's the throw in, and did really well. Drogamullah reached over the top, got the tap back towards the boundary line. Chance for Saints to run on it through Murray as Clark carries it out of play. Third time out of play. It does. The game gets held up a bit when it just gets forced out of play, Ashley, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. Just on Marius Clark, great story, Marius. He played his first game back last week, had major surgery on his skull, got hit by a boat and had a fractured skull. Major surgery, and for him to come back is quite courageous.
Philo runs away, has a bounce. Needs to straighten up, he does. He's usually a long penetrating kick, but just off target. No, it stays in an eyelet. I thought he took the mark then, and then he threw it to himself and played on.
Well, I think what you'll find that he was close to that line.
No, he's paid the mark.
He has paid a mark. So he was close to that point line, the goal line, and
that was
had to try and keep it in.
That was quite.
I'm just trying to think of the Richmond player during the year that scored that goal. He handballed around the goal post.
It was against Collingwood, because trust me, I remember, and that was a throw.
And it was also goal of the year. It wasn't a throw. It was a handball. It was a goal of the year.
So Eilert quickly, and it's gone across the face, so through for a behind. So Eilert, these last two shots at goal have ended up with behinds.
So Nightcliff get a little bit of the yips, do you think, Natasha?
Yeah, they're feeling the pressure, aren't they?
Yep. 2 points out in front now. They have managed to get their noses back in front. Jack Long has it at the 16-minute mark of this third term. A great name in territory footy. Jack Long kicks out towards the 50-metre line mark, taking a good, strong mark, Hugo Drogamullah. Boot for the Tigers this year, the big man, plays on and then got onto the right boot and set it up high. Jack Long in best position to take the mark, gets underneath it and then dropped it. Really should have wrapped that one up. He left it loose and gave a chance here for a shot at goal, and Fitzholt went back and kicked it. Got his second. He kicked a goal in the first term. He's got his second. That from a drop mark from Jack Long.
Yeah, I think that young Hodges might have actually accidentally handballed it to him, but you don't give a player like Liam Fitzholtz half a chance, because he takes them. He's already kicked a couple today, and he's already kicked, that was his second for today. He really opened up early on in the game and provided an avenue for them. Great replay.
Yeah, I think with the last two goals going to the Tigers, I think your move, Ashley, on putting Raphael Clark in the midfield just might help. And they've actually started the midfield with only 3 players, St Mary's, but it's going to win for them. Shawnee Edwards runs away, kicks to Nate Paredes, drops the mark, an absolute sitter. We're disappointed with himself. You watch him have his second and third effort. Can't get the ball out. Goes back to the captain and Brown. Kicks over to Bowles. So well done, the Tigers, looking for the hand pass here. It needs to be quick. Smith was there. They're putting the pressure on here. St Mary's taken high.
Yep.
So earned the free kick there. Nate Paredes quickly plays on. Ugly looking kick, but again Shawnee Edwards from the back just makes a contest out of it. The ball comes loose and the umpires pinned him for holding the ball.
Yeah, he didn't really get rid of it.
Yeah, he took it on and took on the tackler. Yeah, good call. Good call. So Drogamullah with the free kick for the Tigers.
Is it off to Bowles? Will run from the back pocket off the left boot. It's a big kick down towards the wing. And at the back, that's a terrific mark. Second in line, reaching over the top. Thomas Davies pulls in a ripper. directly down in front of us. The Saints player out on the wing, gets onto the right boot, goes down towards half forward, almost to the 50-metre line. Ryan Smith at the back. Getting there first was Clark. Gave the handball away. Got it in the hands of Musgrove. Went short with the kick. Under real pressure now, the Tigers. Musgrove. Ball knocked towards the boundary line. Good play, the Tigers, able to get it away. They'll come along the boundary line now. Good play from them. And from defensive half-back, they get it up towards their half-forward line. Waiting for it there is Cam Island. On the left boot, you can see a player all by himself inside 50. Did it well, gave it to him. Hagan got towards Jack Long and then decided to spear it across the centre half-forward. Did well, gave it to Butcher. Butcher will go over the top and they will put it in their hands there. The mark was dropped by Roger Morris. His second chance is okay. Somehow got it around the corner. Didn't get it down towards the forward line though. Jack Long in defence did well. Gave it to Ben Rioli. They'll run out of defence here. Saints stand up and do terrifically well. That's a great effort by the Saints.
Kanthari here on the centre wing. Just need to get it over the top to a teammate. The Tigers have done well here. Shawnee Wilson backtracks. Just looking to keep possession. Drugamullah takes it, takes off through the midfield. Looking out wide for Hagan. Hagan gets there on the bounce. He's under pressure by Yaron. Good tackle by Yaron. Young Hodges looks like he's done an injury in that contest there. Lowers the eyes, but in front was the St. Mary's player and he was taken high. The ball was kicked after the free kick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a line call for a 50.
So the ball's going to... It's actually a St. Mary's free kick.
Yeah, and Tigers kicked it, and it was well after the whistle was blown, and that's a risk you take whether it's your team or not, but I thought it was a while afterwards. So Frawley with the free kick will go long. Just the previous passage of play, Jack Long did brilliant in the back line to stand up. Matt can't get a run at it. Drugamullah did well, and the ball's going to go out of bounds in front of Taylor, just directly in front of the St. Mary's interchange, where you can see Nate Paredes waiting to come back on.
So don't leave us wherever you are. This is going to be a terrific last quarter here. 20 and a bit minutes gone. Saints supporters looking on there. Some of the women who probably played earlier on. There's the throw in, gets over the top. Nightcliff under some pressure. Not able to get clear though. It was Williams. Saints win it. A little short kick to the middle was okay, and good mark taken there by Ralph Clark. He's lifted his work rate, hasn't he? Goes to the pocket with the kick. Matthias Liddy in good position. Couldn't take the mark. Wants the spillage. Is not going to get it. Nightcliff see it safely over the boundary line and out of play. Just about 20 metres around from the behind post. Saints in attack. 21 minutes gone, third term.
Well, if he had have had a little bit of time there, well, when I say time, Ralph Clarkey, if he had looked up a little bit, I would have just gone over the top of Liddy. There was giant space at the back there.
Yeah, go for the goal square, definitely. So Wills, as the siren goes to end the third quarter, so Nightcliff 9-2-56, St. Mary's 7-6-48. We've got a ripper of a last quarter ahead of us.
Ash Menakaris.
Well, they turned into a bit of an arm wrestle. Nightcliff have fought their way back in front after trailing by the smallest of margins at half-time. I got to say to you, it was their key playmakers. You're talking about Eilert, you're talking about Phil Wills. Kane Riley held Ralph Clark very well from St. Mary's, so Kane Riley doing work, and then Drugamullah started to really come into it. But then again, it was those mobile players like Butcher for Nightcliff that have continued to lift them. So I think we're starting to see the makings, Charlie, of a fantastic last quarter.
Good quarter there by the Tigers. They lead by 8 points after being down by 4. 9-2-7-6 at three-quarter time.
She's flying down to Alice today.
Don't forget to put away the garden furniture.
Yep, got it.
And just remember the TIO weather alerts. Garden furniture!
Love you too.
She's off, but he's still got TIO. They cover you for territory weather, cyclone, storm surge, flood, hail, and they're local, so they can respond fast.
TIO? Storm staying, kids.
Another life saved with the Chemist Warehouse app. Take control the corner. Download now.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students. We have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Let's see. Roma, Verona.
Perhaps Barcelona.
Make your dream holiday a reality. Book your next getaway at Flight Centre with interest-free holidays and flexible repayment options.
Best in the air.
And everywhere.
Intersport, new concept store now opening Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience. Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store. Now open at Casuarina Square.
It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Think about it.
Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence. Last quarter about to get underway. Don't leave us whatever you do. Just 8 points in this St Mary's. Can they get a miracle victory here? Both teams stood at attention and looked into the eyes of their coaches, who said to them, this game is there for those brave enough to grab it and take it. We are set for a terrific last quarter. Ash Menakaris, it's the game we wanted.
Yeah, this game has really been set up in this last term, and looking forward there is one Nightcliff defender standing on his own, waiting for his forward, and that's Kane Riley walking towards Ralph Clark.
Tash Medbury to set it up for us in the last quarter.
Thanks, Charlie. Looking forward to this last quarter. Smith wins the tap down. Has won that duel today. Free kick found. Brody Philo plays on. Has won many clearances in the game so far. Brody Philo kicks it down to the forward line. Here goes Philip Wills, is going to kick his second, and a brilliant start to the Nightcliff Tigers. In 16 seconds they have their first goal for the last quarter, and a brilliant start. So just a little bit of miscommunication there to the St Mary's defenders, but again a clearance from Brody Philo.
Yeah, Philo out of the middle. What he does best as the former Nichols medalist, sends it up off the ground, and there's Phil Wills. That's the second goal he has kicked today, but it is also the second goal where he has sharked off a pack like that. It's what you want as a small forward.
Reads it well, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And running at speed as well.
Yeah, hit it flat out.
And
kicked an easy goal.
They got the clearance as well. Can they get it again, the Tigers here? Saints have been so brave in that second quarter and that third quarter as well. Paredes has been terrific for them today. The ball magnet gets it on the right boot, pumps it up, searching down there for Ralph Clark. Went too far with the kick, made it difficult, got over the back, gave them the chance to clear out of there. Here's Kane Riley, got to the foot, he got a little tap on it, and they got it back to him. Oh, he was ever so clever. Got a little kick away across the face of goals, rolls towards the boundary line, gathered in out there by the Tigers for Butterick. Umpire says out of play. It's got to come back for a boundary line throw in despite the mark taken by Quinn.
Yeah, good result there, but that's a good result for Saints, and it comes from pressure, and they haven't put pressure on like that for a bit, so that was a good result for St Mary's just then to keep it locked in so they can do something with this.
Boundary throw in. Raphael Clark was in the ruck, picked up by St Mary's here. Quinn, good work. His kick is smothered, so we're going to have another boundary throw in. So still a good position in the forward pocket here for St Mary's. Young Quinn had a good game.
They really got to lock this in, don't they, Natasha? I mean, they want to respond very quickly, put themselves back in the picture.
Yeah, definitely. So Raphael Clark against Drogamolla. Clark with the experience comes down to the Tigers. Philo is tackled as soon as he got the ball, but the Tigers have the numbers here. Can they clear it out defence and taken over the boundary line? Saunders just needs to be careful here. Don't give away a free kick. They're still in an attacking position here, St Mary's. A little bit of pushing and shoving. There's been a lot of niggle in this game so far.
Buttery took some exception to that. He body slammed him when he was on the ground. Here's the throw in inside 50. Ryan Smith, front position, got the tap down. Goes to Kane Riley off the left boot, standing, kicks it up towards the centre of the ground. Dropping back and reading it best, taking the mark was Thomas Davies. Good servant for Saints today. Stepped around the player, did it really well. Took a bounce, got the 50, caught in the tackle from behind. Still managed to get the kick away. Went to Kintari. Kintari one way and then the other. Gave the handball off, gave it to Edwards. Edwards kicks down towards the goal line, didn't make the distance. Ball there to clean up by the Tigers. They're going to make a mess of this if they don't clear it out, and they do. Get it out towards the boundary line. Wilson gets it, goes over the top with the handball. Didn't get it over the top. Great work across there by Jack Long, kept it back in play. Tigers under pressure now. Ball lands on the ground. Paredes on the clean-up. Handball over the top, and he continues to run along the boundary line. Kick from a long way out. Shot for goal. Let's have a look. I think he's missed out to the right. He has. Comes up with a minor score.
Ferreira,
desperately unlucky.
I think that was Ferreira.
And Clark in the middle, literally in the middle corridor, all on his own with his arms stretched out sideways, going, look at me.
So kick out here, Brown. Booming kick, good 60-metre kick. Paredes takes the mark. Jeez, he's so strong through the hips and just delivers it in. Kintari should take this one, and he does. Going back with the flight of the footy, took it in front of Clark and Brown.
Brown looked at Clark and said, "You blocked me."
Oh.
that is not a block. The biggest block was the AFL Grand Final, Charlie.
We're going to go back
My
down.
beloved Collingwood.
They still, Tash, wake up 2019, they still lost. Nathan Buckley said as Kintari comes back in.
Kintari should drill it, and he has. He's kicked the much-needed goal for St Mary's, so well done to Francis Kintari, and exactly what St Mary's needed.
Yeah, good work there from Paredes. He read that beautifully. Then looked back in board, and he had options.
Yeah, no blocking there.
No, that was he was too far away. The Nightcliff player made no effort.
Yeah, unlike Brownie, not to go harder than that.
Well, there were 3 Nightcliff defenders there. None of them did anything, really, and Kintari took the mark.
Well, what I'm liking about this is they've at least got options up forward. So even though Riley is probably in winning the battle so far over Clark in this bit, he's at least got other options, St Mary's. 7
points the difference here. Nightcliff in front. They've led for most of the game, but Saints got the better of them in the second quarter with a stunning performance. Here's the kick forward by the Tigers now, down towards their half-forward line. In deeper than that, down towards the pocket, knocked away in defence there by Saints. Have plenty of players back there. They run hard at the footy. Matt's one of them. Along the boundary line, little kick towards goal, rolls down, and just rolls away for a minor score in the end. Might have been Hagan. Come up with a minor score.
These points might actually help in the long run, Charlie. Reckon we're still in for a close one here. So Jack Long with the kicking out duties. Good kick out to Ben Taylor. That's a brilliant kick. Marks it on the 50. What does he have up forward? Raphael Clark's running for him. That's the direction he goes, along with Smith. Drops short. Saunders needs to get his body over the ball here, and it goes out of bounds. Good pressure by Phillip Wills. Really picked up after half-time, Phil Wills. As we look at the Buffalo supporters there.
Got a big game coming up against Southern Districts.
Oh, yes. Massive game.
Here's the throw-in, almost directly down in front of her in the Morris Rioli stand here at the TIO Stadium in Darns. Round 13 of the NTFL. Going in searching for the footy was Williams. Came away with it, got a kick and rolls it away to the boundary line now to play. Try to throw it in. Again, 63 plays 55, 8 points the difference. People come to the footy and then enjoy it. They get 3 matches here sometimes. It's a good day out on a Saturday to watch NTFL footy. Here's the throw in deep down in that forward line. Ryan Smith gets the front position. Saints get the clearing kick outside 50. Paredes a chance from the back. Paredes can win it. Willie, his second effort, third effort. Look at him follow the ball. Paredes, he's on the look for it. He can't get it though. And the whistle's gone. And it was Phillip Wills that was caught in that big tackle. And it's going to be the free kick paid there to Raf Clark. Terrific tackle by Raf Clark. He's across half back.
Yeah, he took on the tackler, and big mistake.
It was a very good call by the umpire. Raphael Clark looks for his brother and takes front position, but dropped the mark. Done all the hard work. Tigers here mop up, and Rioli has pinned him. That should be holding the ball, and it is. Yep. So Morris Rioli Jr., famous name. We've got a grandstand here. It must be great running out there, seeing your name up on a grandstand. Wolsey's father. And it's a terrible kick. And Riley's taken an uncontested mark in the 50. Just unlucky there.
Just a couple of errors creeping in for Saints here. But here's Kane Riley from half back, can kick it up over the wing. And Ryan Smith, big, strong, tall man, takes the mark. You know what? Big guys shouldn't go away with such a shortage of them. He's talking about retirement, but he's shown over the last couple of weeks that he's a force to be reckoned with, the big man. Here he goes. Rhino Smith kicks it down towards the 50-metre line. Kane Riley on the clean-up, gets it, works his way through some St Mary's players back there. Morris Rioli with a dive at the footy, cleaned up here. Wilson taps it down, got onto the right boot, kicked a little grubber kick, getting in the way there. Smith again gets it. They've got Smith. Smith's got the handball away, gave it to Wills. Wills with a handball out wide, did it pretty well. They can go forward here, the Tigers. Little chip, kicked up 50. Loose players run forward. Oh, good vision. Good look around, and they find that player going forward there in Bricknell. And Bricknell's directly out in front. Is going to go short with the kick to Hugo Drogamulla. Goes back. They smothered the kick from him. He targeted that he was going to kick it. Saints get back there. Jack Long desperate. Pushes it to the
free
goal
kick.
Line.
He's earned the free kick, Charlie.
Oh, goodness me.
Not happy, Cameron Islet.
Kick to Ben Rioli. Rioli, brilliant passage of play by St Mary's. Kicks it out wide to McMurray. It needs to stay in, and it doesn't. So just a wasted opportunity there, St Mary's.
Oh, he gave him the most withering look you've ever seen in your life.
So interestingly there, Bricknell directly in front, 40 metres out, right within his range. Right within his range. He's kicked those all the time since he's been playing Premier League football, but he doesn't want to take the shot. Yeah. He wants to hand off.
Unless he's managing a sort of hamstring injury, maybe. He doesn't have the penetration through the kick, because his kicks have all been short kicks. So fighting for the footy out there. And it's going to, the umpire's letting it go. Good umpiring here. Paredes is in there. If someone's going to come out with it, it's Paredes. He does. Manages to get boot to ball. It's going to fall in front of the Tigers players here. Gets around Canthari.
Yeah,
the pressure on, he's run too far. So good well call. Done, Francis Canthari.
Yeah.
It's very good umpiring, I must admit, this
good
game.
Chase. Very good chase, and Brody Follow just wasn't allowed to have any space or time to dispose of it, and got paid the price for.
Kintari's kick along the boundary line finds Raf Clark. He's got runners going forward. Paredes is one of them. He goes to ground. Look at his recovery, fantastic. Just drops the shoulder and tries to run forward. Ball spills free and goes out of play.
Is he the best player on the ground out there today?
Oh, he's been just terrific, hasn't he?
That is a tough. He's running with the flight of the ball and eyes on the ball. Got hit heavily and bounced up, bounced around, and then gave a handball away to Shawnee Edwards.
He's a brick.
He is. Boundary throw in. Match just pushed out of it. Hagen's there. So is Clark. Clark, I thought that was in the back. The umpire says play on. The umpire's letting it go here, which is good. Will the ball come out? Yes, it does. So Clark, and he's just taken over the boundary line there. So another boundary throw in.
Tash, it's a real arm wrestle now, isn't it? It's a real arm wrestle.
You just feel that the next goal in the game as well is very crucial to both teams.
And plenty of time left. Plenty of time left.
Tigers supporters getting a little restless here. 10 and 11 minutes now gone in this last term. Nightcliff trying to get clear with it. Hagan was a chance to run on the footy. Went for it second time, didn't get it. Clever work there by Jeffrey, did well. Kicked that terrific goal in that second term. Kick was down there to Bowles, has it inside defensive 50. Has a look upfield. Neil Bowles got onto the left boot. That's a good kick. Gee, some good meterage in that. Got it over the halfway, over the wing area, down towards half forward, rolls towards the 50-metre line. Tigers come out. That
well
was
done.
Cameron Islet. Jack Long did the old 360, if you don't mind. Takes the bounce, get on the left boot.
Dancing with the stars.
The kick was okay. He's done it a couple of times tonight. He's found targets with it. Got that one across there to McMurray. McMurray got clear. Tried to get it to Tyler Saunders. Saunders emerges with the footy. Went back to Long again. Long off the left boot. He normally finds a target, and this time he does. Gives it to Ben Rioli.
Ben Rioli, well done, Jack Long. We've got a few contestants for Dancing with the Stars here today. And well done, Matthias Liddy. Did all the hard work, plays on. Then the hand pass is...
Well, he's given him a nudge in the back, according to the umpire.
So Deary's been moved down to centre half back here for the Tigers. Kicked 2 goals in the first quarter. So just ignores the lead from Juggamullah. Doesn't have much to go to, does he?
Both half back lines really dominating here.
Kicks it up looking for Williams. Williams has a good jump at the ball. Comes to the back to Taylor. Taylor's played well for St Mary's as well. Number 16 out there. Young Hodges coming out with the footy, was a Nightcliff player in Kidney. And again, Jack Long out-bodied Cameron Islet, and that is very, very hard to do.
Look at him, he's so powerful as well. Jack Long off to the left boot he goes. That's a pumping kick. Over the wing he goes. Nightcliff player under the foot. He couldn't take it. Goes to ground with Struggle-Muller. Ball goes to Wilson. Got to and almost got clear. Now he's spun away from them. On the right boot he goes. Sees a couple of players loose across the half-forward line. Can they get it down there? There was an interference there. Definitely a free kick to the Tigers.
Yeah.
He was nowhere near the footy and he got hit high, and that was Hagan. And he went to ground and he's copped one high. Have a look.
How did Wilson get out of that? Let's put it up. Here it comes, and bang. That was Davies. And coming in free kick. The match review panel might have a look at it, but I don't think there's too much for him to worry about there.
I don't think there was much in that.
It was more a case of the arms went out.
I think it bounced off his shoulder and then sort of got him a bit high there too.
So Hagan will go back and have a deliberate shot, and I think this will just need to settle down his teammates, settle down his side, and he will really need to put this away to open up a comfortable margin.
He's gone back a long way, but so is the man standing on his mark. He's going to run at him and try and trick him. He kicks Hagan. He kicks well. He kicks it really, really well. Pressure goal delivered by Michael Hagan. Great Buffalo recruit now playing for the Tigers.
It is. It's actually his first for the day. And as small forward, you want a greater return there. So he's been more of a live wire around the field and giving them options. But what we are seeing is the 2 half-back lines of both sides here for an arm wrestle for about 2 or 3 minutes as Hagan comes back in. We're watching on the replay here.
And he kicked
very relaxed, casual.
Kicked the 4 goals last week as well, so has been a bit quiet.
He does know where they are, but that's probably speaks volumes about the state of the game in the context that he's standing. Michael Hagan is standing Ben Rioli, one of the better defenders in the comp.
So ball up in the midfield. Edwards has gone on the ball. Taylor's there as well for St Mary's. Picked up by Liam Holt-Fitz. He goes without it. Handball back to Butcher. Butcher kicks out to Philo. He can turn and go here, Philo. Probably been in the best players for Nightcliff by far. And a beautiful kick in the corridor to Cameron Islet. Geez, when you're a forward, Brody Philo, when you see him coming out of the midfield, you'd love to be a full forward every day of the week. I tell you, he has one of the most beautiful kicks that I've seen in football.
Yeah, and Cameron Islet would be pretty stoked with that delivery to him, because the last couple into the forward 50 haven't been that great, and Islet's had to contest against the bigger-bodied Jack Long. But that time he opened up a metre or 2 on Jack, and that was it.
He backed the odds, didn't he? Had 2 players there.
So Islet
and Hagan.
Kicked one in the first quarter and then had 2 points, but he's nailed that one for his team. So with the contest the way it is at the moment, that's a very important goal with the arm wrestle that we've got out here. St Mary's really need to respond.
And there's Butcher out of the middle, picks out Brody Philo, who's got a ton of space in front of him, so he's got time to look up, and he does. He's got 2 in the corridor. One of them is Islet. The other one is Hagen.
That's perfect.
Yeah. So that's the type of delivery into the forward line, if you're a forward, you're looking for every time.
Breaks the spirit, doesn't it, when they do that to you? You know, if you was given a bravery medal today, you'd give it to Saints for that second quarter, I can tell you. What a match it's been.
The margin's now out to 20, which is perhaps a big margin.
Yeah, probably belies this game, really. Yeah. It's been much closer than that. Paredes working very hard, got his hands on the footy. Good handball there by Wills. Butcher involved in the footy, didn't get it. Saints will come, Nightcliff will come out of the middle this time. A little kick forward here by Wills down towards the forward line. Big Jack stands in the way and cuts him off yet again. Jack Long onto the left boot. Rarely misses a target. This time it went over the top. He backed the odds here as well. Marius Clark just running like he was stuck in mud there for a second. Went back with the handball. Gave it off to Tyler Saunders. Saunders across and back to Saunders again. Onto the right boot. Caught from behind. Gone.
Brilliant chase down.
Great chase.
That was a great chase.
And good work by Lazarus as well. He was outnumbered, but he kept going. Number 3 there for the Tigers.
This is Kidney.
Should get the ball back now. And Lazarus worked really well in that contest. It's on centre wing. Ignores the leader, Dirksen. Gets it onto the boot. Direction of full forward there. Dirksen there. Should pick up the crumbs. Good body work by Paredes again. Mitch Musgrove, just an up and under kick and hope. And a good mark taken out there by the Tigers player. That was Morris. Morris delivers it in. Dirksen kept running. Losing his shorts there, Dirksen. Dances around one. It's Taylor. Hand pass over the top to Paredes. Quick hands off to a teammate. They've got the run out here with Nick Yarran. It's this next kick here. Where can he go to? Paredes is on in the midfield. Picked up by Butcher now. He needs to move this quickly, Yarran, and find Saunders in the centre square. Drops a mark. Then misses Edwards. Just too casual there, Saunders, with that marking attempt. Then it comes to Hagen, the goal kicker, and Jack Long again. Uncontested mark once again.
Super effort by him.
Yeah, and Ben Rioli just limping there, but Jack Long has managed to be a real pain to Cameron Island in this last term. And every time there's a contest required, Jack's up to it.
Good player, Jack Long.
Terrific performance from him tonight. So the ball being thrown in directly down in front of us here now. Tap down out of the ruck work. I didn't find anything untoward in all of that. Kick back towards the boundary line. Now to play again.
That's how Paredes plays. You just see he just went 110% at that contest. Eyes on the ball.
Brody Philo was on the other end of that. Hip and shoulder. 2 bulls, those two.
Yeah. Paredes just loves it. The tougher it gets, the more he enjoys it.
About 4 kilos heavier, though. 5 kilos heavier.
Edwards. He's taken down by Philo. The ball comes out wide to Morris. Morris has a runner in Hagen, but Armat, lefty's player, good work by the young player, Braxton Armat. Has the ball here for St Mary's.
Very slow in getting it on, aren't they?
Yeah, they need to move it quickly now. Ryan Smith goes over his head, lands in Paredes. His head was taken off. He earned the free kick. That's just his contest at the foot. He plays on quickly. All the players were standing around. Delivers it into the 50. Morris Rioli Jr. takes the mark. Thought about going. Needs to go back. I think this is just on his distance.
Yeah, I think there's a confidence issue here. He doesn't really want to have to go. Raf Clark's trying to drag a player in and draw a 50. It's not going to work for him. But
I try that just about every game and it doesn't work either.
Yeah, everyone's up for it. Everyone's awake up to it. But Morris Rioli Jr. coming in here.
Needs to kick it. Looks good, but it's going to land in the square. And just St Mary's weren't ready there. Wilson will clear the 50. Kicks it out wide to a player. Clark is there for St Mary's. That's Bricknell. Been very, very quiet for his standards. Matt Bricknell delivers it in. Ben Rioli goes without it. Morris is there to mop up for the Tigers and switches the play. They're on out here. That's a great switch to Williams. He can take off and go. Delivers it up to Dirksen. Dirksen just didn't read the ball, and who's going to mop up there but Jack Long, and just easily disguises it over the boundary line, does Jack Long. Well done to Jack Long.
Yeah, they had a real opportunity there, Nightcliff, but the Saints defenders standing tall, led by Jack Long. A little bit disappointed up forward there with young Morris Rioli Jr. I just thought he might have just go back and put it through. He had nothing to lose.
Ludwig was looking on there, be happy with what he saw from Saints today. Even if they don't take the points here, they've shown some great fighting qualities. Here's Ryan Smith being good for them as well. Somehow scrambles a kick out of a pack, rolls towards the boundary line, stays in the field of play, gathered in by Williams. I'll tell you what, Williams been a good player today. He turned that over that time though, gave it off down in that forward pocket there, the mark taken by Yaron. So Nick Yaron will go across the goal lines to the other side, little chip kick. Saints can get out of trouble.
There's not much up forward here for Frawley. Now he has the run by Hodges. No, that's Davies, sorry, and the ball goes out of bounds. So just good pressure by Butcher. Butcher's been a little bit quiet for his standards as well in today's game. Done his part, but used to him being a lot more dominant and a lot more influential. So the game's just coming to a bit of a halt here.
We just feel as though Saints have put the cue in the rack. They really shouldn't. You know, they've worked so hard for this game today. You really want to play it out till the siren, don't you? To the last second. Well,
Smith in the ruck. I think he's earned the free kick there, Smith, Ryan Smith. So, yes, I hope he doesn't hang up the boots at the end of this season. I think he's possibly got a season or two left in him with the display that he's shown in the last couple of weeks, Ryan Smith. Talented ruckman and good body work by Riley. I think he's won that contest now, definitely against Raphael Clark. This last quarter has just really dominated against Raphael Clark.
Well, it may be that Saints throwing everything but the kitchen sink at Nightcliff in that second term has just really worn them down physically.
So Tigers, to their credit, they were staring down the barrel and they fought back. Here's the man who's been terrific for them. Nathan Brown kicks it down to Williams. Yeah, I was mentioning Williams before. Gee, he's been good today, I reckon. Harry Williams, terrific player for them. Puts it in short, wants Drogamala. Spillage into the hands here of Holtz Fitz. A couple of goals from him. He's kicked forward. Ryan Smith will cut it off. Deep in the back pocket, takes the mark. And he should hurry it on. He's going to go across. Does he look for the safety of Jack Long? No, he didn't. He went instead to Edwards. And Edwards gave the handball across. And Rioli runs out of defence. Here's Ben Rioli down that far side of the TIO Stadium here. Turn it over to Wilson. Wilson to Riley. Riley couldn't get it. Knocked it back. Raf Clark a chance to get it. He's got it. Raf Clark, they've got him. Nailed him. Put him to ground. Will he be penalised? No. Got off to Wilson with a handball. Touches down. Wilson onto the right boot as they get to him. Kicks it inside 50. Well, not quite inside 50. Lands just a little bit short. Roll towards the boundary line. Does it stay in the field of play? Momentarily it does, and then it rolls out as the siren brings it to close. It has been an epic match between these two teams. Saints showed so much fight today, but it was a great win in the end to the Tigers by 20 points. Let's get some comments from Ashley Menakaros.
Well, I mean, it was a game. It was a game where Nightcliff bolted out, kicked 7 goals in the first quarter, and then Saints clawed their way back. And it's on this basis, Saints clawing their way back, that I've had a look at their best players, and I think Shawnee Edwards, Raf Clark, Jack Long, Ryan Smith, and Nathaniel Paredes can all walk away from here knowing that they actually put in for 4 quarters, but they were swamped. And I've got to tell you, the number of good players and the depth inside the Nightcliff team over the 4 quarters, well, for 3 quarters really, because they were held scoreless in that second. Kane Riley did a mountain of work up back, so did Phil Wills, and the skipper Nathan Brown led the way for my money. Harry Williams, Charlie talked about. Trent Melville as a forward. Brody Philo came in and out of the game, and Hugo Drogamala was up against it against Smith. Smith, Ryan Smith from Saints I give a slight edge to, but gee, they had some contributors all day. And Tash talked about Danny Butcher. I think when the things were good for them, Butcher was one of those players that was there, but when the pressure got put on, he and others then dissipated, and then someone like Shawnee Wilson came into the game to take up that slack. Very good game. Saints should be reasonably happy after that. They were much better in front of goal than they were last week. Really made a contest of it, especially after they were caught wanting in the first quarter.
Good on you, Ashley. Thanks so much for that. Tash, thank you very much for your help today. We'll do it all again next week.
Yeah, thanks, Charlie.
That's Menakaris as well. Thank you for your contribution today. Earlier today, Tiwi Bombers 22-11 beat Wanderers 6 goals 5. And in this match, St Mary's down by 33 points, up by 4 at half-time, down by 8, and then they lost by 20 points in an epic battle. Nightcliff come out winners, 12 goals 3. They beat St Mary's 8-7. The margin, 20 points. Bye for now from the TIO Stadium in Darwin.
Don't forget to put away the garden furniture.
Yep, got it.
And just remember the TIO weather alerts. Garden furniture!
Love you too.
She's off, but he's still got TIO. They cover you for territory weather, cyclone, storm surge, flood, hail, and they're local, so they can respond fast.